Hello,
Okay.
everyone. Welcome to Drop Frames.
What is that, dude?
I don't know. I don't know.
No, is that still? Because I know you have one missing frame.
Yeah, that's for the missing frame in the intro. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's just that GIF is just running underneath the intro every single time you play it.
Yeah, yeah. Or
That's awesome.
it's different in the four person show scene collection, whatever the OBS terminology is. It's different. I think that one's a dog. I think that one's like a cute dog or something.
Okay.
But yeah, this one for whatever in the third person, the 3-person collection is that it's not a dog. Yeah, that
Not a cute dog.
Sources say that is not a dog. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's also maybe it was a cow as well. That might be for every collection's different. You know, you like to keep it. Variety is the spice of life, Zeke. Variety is the spice of life.
Hey, you don't have to tell me, man. I've been a variety streamer for a long time.
Boo! Boo!
True variety. True variety. Like, can I just say
Boo.
that? Like saying true variety is like saying solo self-found, right? It's like I'm true variety. I go all across like all the years, like retro consoles and shit, dude.
I had to give I call it my traveling pitch, but I was in a cab this past week and they did the like, what do you do for work? So I had to do that thing and I was unpracticed. It took me way too long to explain my job. However, it was easier because all I said is like, yeah, I stream. I said the word Twitch, and I usually never said that because no one knows what the fuck that is. They're like, oh yeah, Twitch, yeah, no problem. Yeah, you want to watch it on I got an iPad here. You can watch it on Twitch if you want to. I'm like, what? Like, what? This is not normal. Stop it. It's not that much in society yet. It's been too long. It's been a decade. Been doing this too much. Too long.
Yeah. I forget that I like almost every single one of my hoodies has the Twitch logo on it, whether it's, you know, for my channel, another channel, or just for like TwitchCon or something like that. Like all of my hoodies have Twitch on it.
Yeah.
And when I go out into like a gas station and somebody behind the counter is like, I'm sitting there, I'm, you know, paying for my gas or, you know, buying a energy drink or something. The guy behind the counter is like, hey, you a streamer? I'm like, I'm immediately like, hey, someone knows me. It's like, oh no, never. It's just, it's that. It's like, and almost inevitably, they ask one of two questions. First, do you watch blank streamer? Like, you know, one of the top 10 like names that we all know.
Yeah.
And the other one is, well, it's not a question, but it's a yeah, I've been thinking about getting into that.
Yep.
And they wanna talk about it.
That was the other part of the cab drive that I left out because this guy was, you know, I'm thinking about, I really like investing and I think that I could really do well with like a financial, like help YouTube, Twitch stream. Like, I think it could be good. And then there's me in the back just like, yeah, that would do great. Just lying through my fucking teeth as this guy tells me about all his financial advice.
They asked me like, do you think I should do that? And I'm like, hey man, listen. And I try and keep it short and sweet. It's streaming is like becoming an actor or a singer or a dancer or anything like that.
That's very true.
You got a chance, pretty saturated, but you got a chance.
Yeah.
You got to get lucky. You do got to get lucky.
That is very true. I was, I think it might have been an LSF clip or something. But someone posed the question like, what was the last streamer or who was the last streamer that kind of like blew up in like that primarily streams games? And I didn't know an answer very quickly. I don't know. It's
the primarily streams games part is
that's the hard part.
That was a little tough.
Well, maybe not a streamer, but the last channel that blew up, that's a little bit easier because the last channel that blew up was the Seinfeld one.
Oh,
that
sure.
I can remember.
Yeah.
Like came out of completely nowhere and just like dominated like the Twitter sphere and whatever for a while.
Yeah.
It quickly fell off, but like, you know, that happens from time to time where one streamer or one channel blows up.
Definitely, the gaming part was a tough one because I don't. Mostly people that stream games are seeing lower numbers across the board the past couple of months, I would say. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I want to start off the show with something that we've never done in almost 8 years of shows. And that is a fit check. What the fuck? I need new clothes. I'm tired of wearing the same shit to stream every day. What do you guys wear to stream? Like, are you just
God,
wearing
I thought you
like
were gonna
shorts?
fire me, dude.
Wait, really?
Yeah, like what do you wear? Like I know you wear a
I
t-shirt,
literally
but
have
like
a wall of gaming shirts that I
no,
just go through.
the shirts are simple. You wear a game, but like what are you wearing? Shorts? You don't wear jeans to stream, right?
Oh.
You're not a heathen.
I don't wear pants.
Okay, you just go pantsless?
Absolutely.
Okay.
No. Co, like, you know how much Co streams, right?
Yeah.
You know he streams on a gaming toilet.
Mhm.
That is true. Yeah.
In
Yeah.
fact, I got my own
He's-
branded
it's-
Carnage gaming toilets.
Oh.
Yeah. You didn't see the Logitech X Tushy like combo chair?
No, I didn't. I
It's-
didn't. I now know about it.
It's a bidet, and also that's why he has children.
Is it a bidet with a
because, you know,
USB extension on it? It's just got like
Yes.
3
Yeah.
USBs.
Stat tracking, all the good stuff.
Oh god.
Yeah.
The old stat track bidet. Everyone's got them. Everyone's got them.
He has what was it like oh god, it was Coming to America. Like he has people that clean him after his business is done, just come in like underneath
Is that why he has so many cats?
the camera.
Did he train the cats to clean them? Is that what's going on? I think we've cracked the code. He's being
Sure, let's
silent
go with that.
about it. He doesn't want to give up the secret.
I mean, cats would be better than dogs because of the rough tongue. They would really actually like it'd be like cleaning with lava soap or a pumice stone.
That is true. It would work. It would work. Yeah. That's why the cat's
Yep.
so tired whenever he starts the stream. Look at him. He's just back there
true.
sleeping. He's been busy. Go ahead, coffee before the stream. Anyways.
Yeah.
I wanted a
video game.
serious answer, but I don't think we're going to get one from the two of you. So move forward.
So you want a serious answer as to what
Yeah.
I used to stream in jeans, and the reason why I did that is because I would come home straight from work. Like I come home straight from work at the pawn shop, and
sure. Okay.
I'd start streaming, and that's all I had for a long time. And then, like, I don't know, 6 years ago, I said to myself, like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Like, this seems stupid to wear jeans. Like, and then I started wearing like basketball shorts, and now I'm a sweats guy, like all day, every day.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
like
I was
normal
gonna say,
sweats.
So real talk, I basically went on a sweat journey. And what I did was I went to multiple websites, review things, found like literally 10 pairs of like the most highest rated, comfy, utility oriented sweatpants. And I ordered like literally 30 pairs of sweatpants over the course of 2 weeks.
You got a winner?
And whittled them down. Yeah, I whittled them down and found like a few really good pairs that I like. But I haven't really gotten more of them because now I have 30 pairs of sweatpants and I don't want to order more.
Oh.
But I did find some good sweatpants, and I just wear sweatpants all the time. Unless I'm going to go out. If I know I'm going to go out somewhere, that's not just like lunch or something, then I got cargos. I generally wear cargos.
Oh, okay. You're saying
I was
not
gonna
to
mention
struggle,
that, like,
I'm not
Like,
talking
I
about
don't- I
clothes to
don't-
wear outside. Literally just clothes to sit in this room. You sit in
Yeah,
every
sweatpants,
single-
man, all the
like-
way. Sweatpants
Okay.
all the way.
All right.
Oh, and slippers.
I stopped caring. I
Nice
go out
slippers?
so
Yeah.
Oh.
I go out so seldom that I just stopped caring like what I have on. So I walk in like with sweats and slippers, and like I look like a fucking bum. Like when I walk in, just like because I usually like before I get my haircut, I usually get like wear that beanie hat, and then once stream is over, I take it off, and so like my hair is all like matted and shit like that, and like. I mean, look at me.
That's the drive. That's
Just
the
walk
drive
in like the
fit.
thing, and like,
Yeah, dude, you look
Ugh.
terrible.
I know.
Horrible.
Trust me, I know.
We call that the
don't do
drive-through fit here in the Midwest. See, yeah, that's where you go.
Yes, that's right.
Go
Yeah,
to the drive-through so
No,
that they
I-
can just see you split. And get the fuck out of there.
I'd be lying if I didn't. If I said I wasn't on a couple of different people of Walmart Instagram.
Well, I thought you were going to say watch lists. That makes sense too.
No,
Those are the same thing. Same list.
we don't talk
Co.
about that, Co.
Yeah, those two are the same list. Actually, funny enough.
There's a lot of overlap. There's a lot of overlap.
Completely. They check names, trade names all day. That's huge in the list world. Anyways.
Huge.
Maybe I do like basketball shorts. Maybe I'll get some sweatpants. Try those out.
Oh yeah. Back when I was doing my workout thing, I got a lot of super comfy shorts for that too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Might work.
Kind of transitioning back into that slowly.
Well, it gets hot, right? Like wintertime, it makes sense. You could do the sweatpants, but summertime, it gets hot. You can't wear sweatpants all the time. Zeke, you ever say something? I was going to awkwardly transition out of this.
Yeah, a couple things I want to mention that I noticed. Well, one thing I noticed today that I didn't know had gone into effect. I pinned it in my channel, but awesome change for Twitch that they put, links to your channel if you at them in the stream title.
Yeah.
I didn't know when that went into effect, but someone pointed it out and I was like,
week.
Dude, that's awesome. Why has it taken it so long to do that?
Yeah. 13 years. It's what it took. I think.
And they're color coded.
Yeah. That was, I guess, what took them. They didn't know how to, I guess, make the name stand out to where you could actually hover over them. But color coding is the answer, I suppose. So we utilize that on 4 streams a week on my channel. I think most people do. You can do like sponsor shout out. You can tag a sponsor in there too. Most companies have some sort of Twitch channel, so you can just tag them in that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good things for it. Good reasons to have it. I'm glad that Twitch finally introduced that stuff. If you're not sure what we're talking about, if you're watching live, if you're a VOD viewer, it'll be tough to see. Probably go to like the Twitch support Twitter. But if you're watching live, just look at the title of the stream, and you can hover over either the 3 of our names, and it will show you I guess now the about section is useful. Like it puts the stream schedule there, and it shows the upcoming stream. Then I think a little bit of the about section, as well as like a follow button. So it's useful.
Yep.
This is in the. Oh yeah, look at that.
In the title, yeah.
And you mouse over it, it shows your little blurb, your dumb fucking bongo cat, whatever. It
all the
shows
links
upcoming streams. Yep. It has all your it has your links to YouTube, TikTok. It has all your links there too. That's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's fucking fantastic. I'm gonna put that in my stream. I'm gonna put my name in my stream title every time. Because that is by far the easiest way for people to find all my shit rather than scroll down to the panel section.
I guess that is true, yeah.
It's actually a great idea.
I had not considered that. You're not wrong. The other thing that Twitch was doing was they did a
people
test.
in my chat would be stupid bongo cat, bongo.
That's the better Twitch TV.
That's the official
emotes.
name of the emotes.
Yes.
Stupid bongo chat. Okay, that's good.
The other thing that Twitch tested this past week was the channel skin. They did a test with Soda Poppin' on his stream.
Oh yes,
and
yes they did.
From a viewer's perspective, it went.
Hold on, they did a what?
A channel
test
skin test.
Oh,
basically like a channel takeover when it comes to like ad. Like it was an ad.
Yeah,
takeover.
I saw pictures of that.
Yeah. From a viewer perspective, didn't go great. From a logistics and like click through thing, granted, most people are probably wondering how the fuck they get rid of it. I think I think NMPLOL said it was like 10,000 times the actual rate of people clicking through and like actually seeing what that is. So for Twitch, because everyone did that, they're going to take that the wrong way and be like, we need channel skins on every fucking channel.
That's the part that's so funny because like Soda Poppin' actually it was so bad he had to make a highlight, like basically telling people like this is what this is. I'm sorry, just deal with it.
Yeah.
And what's funny is you brought it up on the screen. It was a bar across the bottom center of the screen, and there was no way to close it. So of course, I'm just like you said. I'm guessing like 40 to 80% of the clicks were people trying to figure out, like clicking on it, trying to close it or move it or something.
Yeah.
Does it persist through theater mode?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Because I rarely watch, like when I watch Twitch, it's always theater mode for me.
Yeah.
Unless I have a reason to take it off. It does. All modes, even full screen. Oh my god.
So let me make sure this is going to work. Yeah, this is what it looked like. I didn't tune in live, so this is apparently what it looked like if you're watching live, it put this ad right here, this little banner below the video player, and then put one above the chat, which is his little logo, and then Starforge, which is their like PC company / sponsor.
So it actually makes the video that is streaming smaller.
Yeah. I thought this was going to go like below the fold or like below the title, but no one looks there. So I guess that's not a successful place to put it for advertisers / Twitch point of view.
Wait. Is this true? Ninja Wave says the latest update for Twitch on consoles has removed the chat and asks you to use the mobile version to do so.
Really? That's the first time I've seen that.
Is that real?
Yeah. That seems.
Honest Silence says, yep.
Yeah, I'm
Matt
getting
says,
confirmations in chat.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Jesus, man.
Say that one more time.
Chat doesn't work on consoles. You have to open up your phone.
You have to actually open up a mobile version to chat. Be a good little consumer. No talking.
What?
Only watching and consuming.
The reason why is probably because no one chatted on a console to begin with. Because it's such...
Probably.
You have to use a controller to like go and click open the chat, and then you use a controller to go through a fucking keyboard and type out a message. Whereas if you just pull out your phone, go to the stream, you're there. If anything, it's easier.
You open up on mobile, it's like, please use the desktop client if you'd like to chat. Don't use mobile. And then you go to the desktop channel, and it's just like, you know what? Just you and you're chatting. How about that? Yeah, but now that you're here, might as well watch, right? Yeah.
Now, the issue, though...
Enjoy the show. Thanks.
If they removed chat to where you can't even see it, is that what they're saying? Like, it's not that you couldn't just chat, it's that chat didn't exist. If chat didn't exist, that fucking sucks. Because, like, that's half the reason to come to Twitch to watch a stream is to watch alongside chat, to see what chat is saying and read.
You can see chat.
Okay. Then, yeah, that's fine.
Oh, and to be fair, somebody else said, but it's also improved a lot besides that. So maybe they're just trying to streamline the experience.
Maybe so. Yeah.
Which could be a thing.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, makes sense.
Can you now? Like, I don't use consoles a lot, and I'm wondering, can you do like, since your most new or this gen controllers have a microphone, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if you could do text to speech like that with your controller. So you're just talking to your controller, and then
I don't know. I don't see
or
why
speech to text, I guess.
Yeah, I don't see why you couldn't, unless they just don't have that functionality on a console. I've never looked for that, but it would make sense if you could do that, because you could do that on a phone, right? You can just open up a chat and talking to your phone with voice to text. So, if not, Twitch should. That seems like a pretty grand idea for that.
Or maybe, I mean, not even talking into your like controller, but like if you have like, you know, the PS earpiece headset thing or anything, you know,
any mic, any
related,
sort of mic,
any peripheral like that,
yeah. Twitch also announced, since we're kind of talking about that stuff, we got TwitchCon dates and places. Las Vegas for US, and is it Paris for EU?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll see you there, both places, baby.
Co, I know
both.
You're going to both, Zeke?
Hell yeah, dude.
Co, you doing both?
Man, it's been 3 years since I've fucking traveled, man.
You're ready to see the world?
I'm stocking up this year. No, we put a little fucking thing on our fridge. Like it's like where we like the oblong piece of paper that you put your grocery list on.
Mm-hmm.
I have a grocery list of things that we're doing this year. I'm going to both Twitch cons. We're gonna visit Baltimore. We're gonna fucking go to Burning Man. Like, we got all sorts of shit because we have been cooped up for far too fucking long.
Well, you'll have fun. Have you been to Paris before? You'll eat well.
Nope.
Food's great over there.
I've only been to one place in Europe, and that's, well, I mean, one country in Europe, and that's Germany. I've been to Berlin and Cologne.
Got it. It is October 20th through the 22nd for the Las Vegas North American TwitchCon, and then TwitchCon Paris is July 8th through the 9th this summer at the Paris Expo Port. I'm not going to try to speak French. Not going to do that.
Just real quick for everybody, like the few of you going, Baltimore, ? It's our old hometown. We're just going to go revisit our old hometown. That's why we're choosing to go to Baltimore.
They're huge fans of the Ravens, if they still exist as an NFL team there. That's the only thing in Baltimore is they have an NFL team. Anyways.
And baseball team.
Orioles?
Hey, you got it. Got it in one. Good job. Yeah.
Sports.
Sports ball.
Sports.
So I saw this today, and I was wondering.
Oh, yes, I'm probably going to Vegas.
Okay.
Answer your question.
Oh, right. We're still talking about TwitchCon. I'm sorry, ADHD.
Go ahead.
You're going to TwitchCon Vegas, Co. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Probably.
I think so.
What about you?
Probably.
What about you, Japers?
I don't have plans at the moment. We'll see if that changes between now and October.
Yeah.
I don't think
it seems like an easy trip, though, because like Vegas is really like even more so than San Diego is set up for, quick travel in, quick travel out. Lots of hotels and places to stay and shit like that. Yeah.
It was never the travel for the reason I didn't go. I just don't want to go.
It's the people.
Yeah, I mean, social anxiety is definitely a reason.
Yeah,
but I just don't want to go, especially Vegas. I feel like Vegas is going to be potential for even wilder thing. Like, can you imagine the IRL streams that are going to occur in Vegas? It's going to be fucking nuts. Like, it's Vegas. You can just walk around with a giant, like, what is it, a yard long margarita or whatever the shit is that you see all the time on social media. Like, that's going to be nonstop.
I bet there's going to be some suspensions and shit like that. And some stories when we come back. Oh my goodness. I'm just glad I'm going there with my wife, because she can't keep me, like, I don't know if she can keep me in line 100%, but it's a good first line of defense of me doing something real stupid.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think Mary Kish said it best. Whatever happens in Vegas gets live streamed to the entire world via Twitch stream.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. That'll be a crazy. That's the other thing is I kind of want to just stay home and see what that experience is like to see everyone streaming from Vegas. Cause people have done IRL streams in Vegas and like, it's generally fine. But with like the entirety of Twitch going out there could be kind of wild. Could be an interesting weekend, to say the least. There's also a bunch of other things happening in Vegas at the same time. There's
there's like a When We Were Young rock concert or something.
Yeah, so it's like early 2000s popular music boomer festival, which was wildly successful. I think for the first one that they did. So they're doing it again, and at the same time, probably going to be a pretty busy Vegas, I would say. At the end of the day, there would be a lot of people there. Did you guys get hotels already? Did you try to book a hotel or okay? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, that's the first thing I did. First thing out the gate. Once I heard I was late to my stream that day because I'm like, okay, let's get this fucking done right now. And so I did. Got my hotel for Paris and for Vegas all booked up.
What hotel are you staying at? Well, what is a Paris hotel like? Is it my idea is like fancy, crazy, expensive nonsense? Is that on base?
Yeah, but they also they also have like you have like the Chateau de Rouge on the blah blah blah.
Yeah,
but they also have like Holiday Inn Express. They have those too.
Do they say Holiday Inn but French?
I think in France it's
Les Holiday.
Yeah,
Les Inn de Holiday.
I'm staying at the Royale with cheese.
Oh God, that's why I'm not allowed to go to Paris because I'll just make terrible comments and jokes like that. I'll get kicked out. They'd say you're a dumb American. Get the fuck out of here. Wouldn't last.
I found that the easiest thing to do is don't act like you are trying to know the language. Just ask them if they speak English, and more often than not, they do.
And remember to speak all of your English in a French accent.
Yeah. And also raise your voice the more that they don't understand you and speak slower. Yeah. That's also.
They love it when you do that.
Yeah. People are huge fans of making them appear dumb when they can't understand you. It's really the way to win someone over in a foreign country. everyone says that.
And also, one thing I learned is in France, it's like the one European country where you don't want to say you're Canadian because they will talk shit about you for not speaking French for being Canadian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you're Canadian and you don't speak French?
And
what's wrong with you?
Also, don't say you're from Montreal. Then you'll really get some shit. Then they'll straight out just say, like, yeah, we're not gonna get the fuck out.
I mean, that's fair though. I mean, if you live in Canada and don't speak French, are you really Canadian?
Yeah.
You know, it's a good question. Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll have to get a Canadian on the show. We don't even know any Canadians though.
So it just goes, we
know some Canadian transports. We know, well, I mean, Shannon, of course. We know Shannon. Shannon Zed Killer is Canadian. We know that means Sacriel is a Canadian import. And we know Clara from Devolver.
Oh, she's Canadian? Oh, I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Apparently Shroud is also Canadian.
Is he?
Is that real? Oh, there's also Sips. But Sips is from he's from Jersey. He's not Canadian. He's a Jersey boy now.
Sacre bleu!
Pax. Yeah. Classy Pax, let's not forget. He's great.
Northern Lion. Okay. A lot of Canadian streamers, it turns out, that we have had on the show. Yeah. Anyways, TwitchCon, that's happening. That's a thing. They're going to it. Was there any other Twitch news? I don't think so. Any other? It's funny. I get most of my Twitch news from Zach on Twitter instead of like from officially Twitch. He's a pretty good source. So if you're wondering who that is, it's Zach Bussy.
Zach Bussy.
SSEY. ZACH. Zach on Twitter.
So it is Bussy and not Bussy?
I would hope so.
Okay.
Yeah. Just for his sake. Yeah.
Well, I mean, either one has connotations. Like, do you want to be a Bussy?
I think you want to be a Bussy more than a Bussy.
At least one of them.
I think Bussy is less than Bussy.
But it's bussin', right? Not bussy. Like, I'm not up on the vernacular, but I think that's correct, right?
What do you think?
Or is bussy part of it?
You know, let's just not even. Yeah.
No, I think we should.
What is bussin'? Is it like bussin' a nut?
Hold on,
is that
Zeke,
like
what do you think a bussy is? You know?
Here we go.
Is that a bus pussy?
Oh, God. What is even life right now?
Let's leave it at that.
Let's leave it at that. I think that's the perfect place to end that conversation.
And scene. Video game
commercial.
news.
Commercial.
Yeah, Barry, hit the ad button right now. Give him 6 minutes. Wash him clean of that whole thing. Get one of Co's cats. Just get all up in there and
get the bongos for the cat.
Is that the
But it wouldn't
word?
be pronounced bussy then. It would be bussy, right?
Oh my God. It just doesn't end.
Oh man.
Listen, dude, I'm sex positive. It's okay. Like, it doesn't, I'm not embarrassed.
Oh yeah, I think it's funny. Video game news.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
At least where I'm getting my news from, the most exciting thing that people are talking about is SEGA is apparently increasing the monthly salary of its employees by 30%. Good for you, SEGA.
Good for them, dude.
Yeah. They've been doing pretty well. They got Isshin coming out this next week.
Isshin's awesome. It's already out.
Yeah. Oh, is it out? Or
early
it's deluxe edition early access out. Yeah.
Deluxe edition early access.
Yeah.
You got it.
That's Sega, right?
Yeah.
Didn't Nintendo do that just recently too? Like, start paying their employees like 10% more or something?
Maybe.
Did they?
Oh, I thought we talked about that. I thought that was. Yeah, someone said, did Nintendo start a trend?
10%
Yeah, exactly.
more. Yeah, 10% more February 8th.
So once again, Sega's like, what did Nintendo do? Let's do that.
Yeah, exactly. And they added 20% on top of it. So Nintendo, what are you doing?
Yeah. Let's do it better and make it bloodier. Like, turn the gore on.
Yeah. Yeah. Sid Meier's Civilization Twitter confirmed that the next Civ game is in development. A lot of people very excited about that. Some other Firaxis news, the developers behind Sid Meier. They had two high-profile devs leave this past week. Steve Martin, who was at the company 27 years as studio head. He saw 32 plus game releases. He is leaving the company. He says, quote, "I'm tremendously grateful for the opportunity to have championed and led the work of such a talented group of people in the past decades of the greatest
Not
studio
the
in
actor,
world."
chat.
No. I'm proud of the legacy of games Firaxis has created and its reputation in the industry. It doesn't state why or where he's going, but hey, 32 games, 27 years.
That's a legacy.
That's
man.
a legacy. Yeah.
That's a legacy.
Not many people can say that about a
Kudos to
singular
him.
company.
Yep.
Let alone a video game company where
Mhm.
turnover is crazy. So,
Small thing here. I just go ahead.
all right, I'm going to go ahead.
I
Thanks,
said
guys.
also-
next.
Yeah, okay. I was like, also kudos to him for not changing his name to Steven or going by Steven. You know, sticking with the Steve Martin, even though like everybody's gonna go, that one? No, not that one.
Yeah.
Like all of his fucking life. Not going by Steven. Like even Michael B. Jordan was like, I want to be known. I don't want to get that shit.
Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. What were we going to say, Co?
Small anecdote, by the way. Steve Martin may not run a game dev studio, but if you do want to hear one of the better banjo players out there, you should check out Steve Martin's banjoing.
That also is true. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's won
fantastic.
like
Absolutely fantastic.
awards for that, like multiple Grammys, I want to say. Alongside Steve Martin leaving Firaxis, the XCOM guy, whose name I'm blanking on, also left. He made Jake Soloman. He was the creative developer of XCOM and Midnight Suns. 23 years at the company, also announced his departure. So, not sure what's going on. Not sure if they're just tired of being in the industry for that long, or if it was just fortuitous timing.
Maybe a sale's coming up or something.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Well,
maybe.
Yeah,
well, did they work
ducking out?
Like, did those two big names, did they work closely together or whatever? And the reason why
I would assume so.
The reason why I ask is because that's kind of what happened when I left my job. It's like, God, I really want to try this Twitch streaming thing full time. I don't know when I'm doing it. And then my boss was like, I'm leaving in 2 weeks. And I went, me too. Okay, good. Now I can, okay, great.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just was like, okay, we'll leave at the same time.
Might have been the case. Yeah. Jake said that Midnight Suns is kind of a passion project of his. And, you know, he got to make that quote unquote dream game. And now he's going to go chase, I think the quote was, now he's going to go chase another dream. So I don't think he's done making games, but at least at Firaxis, he is. And I would think working with a Marvel IP is probably a nightmare when it comes to like having Disney and Marvel constantly being like, you can't have that pigment of Spider-Man because we don't have the rights. Sony has the rights for that. You got to make sure that it also is just a nightmare. It's got to suck.
And also, do you think like, because I heard Midnight Suns was like a commercial failure. Like,
yeah, they announced that as such. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that has anything to do with it, or do they mention it or not?
Maybe. I mean, 23 years at the company. I would hope they didn't just say like, "Hey, get the fuck out of here. You ship the shitter."
Yeah.
Type deal.
No, I'm thinking like it's just like the last drop. You know, it's like
maybe
we try to do this, and like I was tired anyways, and this just I'm just done. And and they left.
Yeah, could be the case. Funny enough, for what it's worth, Midnight Suns is free this weekend on Steam till I think Monday to play. They're trying to get people in there to, it's completely free. You can
Free?
download it.
$3?
$3. But it's not to keep. It's just this weekend. You can only play it for this weekend. It's not like you download and keep it forever.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So the preview
trial
weekend.
is maybe be the
Trial,
which is absolutely safe for them to do because the game is fucking long.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's exactly.
People like it. They'll be playing it a while.
Even if you played
Speaking of
48 hours straight, you can't finish it.
Speaking of that, I finished it.
You did. Yeah.
Finally, I beat it.
Nice. You don't need the
It was
free weekend then.
it was good. It's a fun XCOM like game, but man, I had trouble falling in love with the characters. A lot of the characters in it. I really wanted to, but
yeah. Well, now you got DLC to play. That's also out there.
Yeah, I haven't done any of the Deadpool shit yet.
Yeah. Venom, I think next week as well.
Oh, playable character?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Continues the story too. So that's all out. What else do we got? There's some stuff about Microsoft. You guys tell me if this is a overreaction or if it's a proper reaction. Microsoft within, where was this leaked? A UK CMA, what does that stand for? Competition and Markets Authority provisional report on the Microsoft Activision Blizzard acquisition. Included an admission from Microsoft that putting games into its Game Pass subscription service cannibalizes sales of those titles. The effective, the quote itself was, Microsoft also submitted its internal analysis shows a redacted % decline in base game sales 12 months following their addition on Game Pass. And like people went crazy with this. But is that...
Well, I think the big thing is that the subsequent research they released was a little bit more stunning, that water is wet.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I agree. Like, why? Of course, it's going to hurt sales. Why wouldn't it?
Anyone who is surprised by that. It's not even saying the quiet part out loud. It's just everyone obviously knows that that's what's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that was a discussion that happened when they first did Game Pass, especially with smaller studios, because the idea was like, well, if they're getting contracted on for a fixed amount of dollars and then say their product is huge on Game Pass, does that hugely benefit Microsoft? Does that make it so indie hits don't get the devs as much money? Like that was an early discussion. So like it's ludicrous to think that, wait, you're telling me that consumers will spend less money if given the option to play the same thing?
Yeah. I don't...
That just sounds a little far out for me. I don't know. It's a little... I don't know.
Microsoft responded at least to Eurogamer when they asked them about this, because it came from a report, not from Microsoft themselves. And they responded very PR way, but it says, quote, Xbox Game Pass offers gamers and game creators more choice and opportunity in how they discover, experience, and deliver games. For gamers, that means providing another option for them to discover games and play with friends at great value. For developers, that means creating another option for how they monetize their games. We're focused on helping game creators of all sizes maximize the total financial value they receive through Game Pass. Each game is unique, so we work closely with creators to build a custom program to reflect what they need, ensure they are compensated financially for their participation in the service, and allow room for creativity and innovation. As a result, the number of developers interested in working with Game Pass continues to grow. So was this an outcry?
It looks like the issue is that, and thank you chat for this, the issue is that Phil Spencer apparently said the opposite earlier on. So it's looking like he either knowingly said that, knowing it was incorrect, or he was given the wrong information. But I think the main part of the story is that it looks like he at one point stated the opposite. So the story is not necessarily that water is wet. The story is that they said it was dry earlier.
Got it. Yeah, here's the previous quote. Phil Spencer says, when you put a game like Forza Horizon 4 on Game Pass, you instantly have more players of the game, which is actually leading to more sales of the game, Spencer said in 2018. You say, well, isn't everyone just going to subscribe for $10 and go play this thing? But no, gamers find things
5 years ago.
Yeah, gamers find things to play based on what everybody else is playing. Yeah, that's a good point. That 2018 was 5 years ago. So maybe at the time...
5 years ago, and it could have been that he was talking about specific situations. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind
of a strange
one.
Yeah. A little bit of a strange one. So, anyways, Game Pass is great.
Rip Game Pass? Oh, nothing's going to happen at Game Pass. I mean, I think it's just... No. I think it's just more commentary on the situation.
Yeah.
If anything, I think it's just people trying to get a gotcha moment on Microsoft, or Phil in particular, I guess.
Yeah, so the other thing is I forget which group it is, but in Europe, maybe the UK, Microsoft is meeting behind closed doors, I think, this next week to talk about the deal when it comes to Activision Blizzard. It's not looking great over there. So we'll see if do you guys think it's still going to go through? You think it just needs to be greased?
No idea. People way outside of our pay grades will be the one that eventually decide that, and it's probably going to be for reasons we're not even considering. Yes or no?
Yeah. A lot of people when we were talking about this the other day, They said if it doesn't go through, then most likely what would happen is that Activision Blizzard would be chopped up and sold like piecemeal. So like Activision would be one part, Blizzard would be one part, King would be one part, and they would potentially just sell parts of that. But I don't know. We'll have to see.
I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
That
regardless
sounds like
of what
a good
happens.
idea, though, right?
I guess. I mean, if you're Microsoft, you want them all, right? Like those.
Of course.
Yeah, they're all winners.
It's better. It's
IP wise,
arguably better for consumers if that's the case, because then that fosters internal competition. But there's all sorts of other issues that arise from that, and also the behavior of those companies post breakup is a big deal.
Sure.
Like you look at some of the history of some of the times this has happened in the States, particularly, like companies just amalgamate like amoebas back together, just over time and through back channels. So it's like, and God only knows what's going on behind closed doors with those companies. There's enough, wonky stuff going on behind closed doors between competitor companies these days. So it's a thing.
Yeah, there was you're talking about behind closed doors. Apparently there was an all hands meeting at Blizzard where Mike Ibarra was it wasn't a good Q&A, essentially. In the Q&A section of the meeting, Ibarra addressed the recent decision to cut employees' profit sharing bonus by almost half, which couldn't have gone over well considering Blizzard had just finished one of its stronger quarters in years.
Oh, God.
Nearly doubling its operating income thanks to the launch of Overwatch 2, the mobile hit Diablo Immortal, and recent World of Warcraft expansions.
So they literally got their company to sell out with the Immortal to make huge amounts of money. And then they're like, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and not give you any of that. Thanks for that little piece of your soul, though. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Whew.
Yeah, mobile hit. Hey, like it or hate it, dude. That product made, what, is it billions or millions? Probably.
I don't know if
it made a lot of money. I don't think
yeah.
it got to billions, but it made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Hundreds of millions, most likely, I think.
Let's see. Latest installment. This was January of 2023. Generated almost $100 million since release, making its financial success for Blizzard. The first in-app player spending amounted to $42.5 million in 1 month.
What was Genshin's recently? Didn't Genshin?
Oh, they do like $1 billion a quarter.
Milestone? Yeah, Genshin is. Yeah,
they make like
that's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, the Genshin does
stupid amounts of money.
In December 2022, the mobile app generated approximately $164 million in 1 month.
In a month?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. They crossed. When is this article posted? May of 2022, they crossed 3 billion in lifetime player spending. So,
well, there you go then.
Yeah. Genshin's massive.
They're doing okay.
They're doing all right. They're making okay money there at Genshin.
They're doing okay.
Well, I mean, I played it all 3 weeks, and they have $200 of my money.
They got them. They locked them in. Yeah. So, mobile games, man. Mobile games. Dead Island 2 went gold, and they also announced that it's coming out a week early on April 21st this year, 2023.
Good on them, man.
Yeah. That's always awesome to see that people are ahead of.
Shows good confidence.
That's right. It carries a lot of weight too, I think, in sales these days. Guys, remember Multiversus? This is just a random note.
Oh, real quick, just Dead Island, like,
yeah.
What is Dead Island releasing on? Everything?
I think everything. Most things, yeah. New gen, next gen, PC probably. I don't know if they're going to do PS4, Xbox One. Yeah, Multiverse.
Yeah, Multiverse. That was. Didn't that have a bunch of sponsored stuff? And
it did.
A lot of people played it for a bit. Yeah,
that's exactly right. It has dropped their Steam player count, which a lot of news stories get made out of. It doesn't mean very much, but 99% of players have dropped out of playing Multiversus. It had
99.
It had its peak this past Monday of 986 players. That's it. There's no K after that. It's literally 986. Its peak was 143,000 players on Steam on day one and rose up. Or sorry, that was day one peak. Day two peak was 153,000 the following day. A month after its launch, Warner Brothers stated that 20 million players had already downloaded and played the game. Cut to this past Monday, and Steam had 986 people play.
That is so impressive.
Yeah,
now, now you played it, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't.
Terrible, right?
No, the game was fine. You just look at that and you wonder, like, how does that happen?
Yeah,
like, how do you not retain? Is that a lot of people in chat are saying that's just the fighting game curve? Is it?
That's not what happened with Guilty Gear.
Yeah, I mean they drop off for sure, but like to have that much drop off, that seems stark for me. That seems like a lot.
I mean, do you think it's just like a one sentence simple explanation? Like someone in chat said it. It's not Smash.
True. I mean, Smash is
Smash.
Smash is the Genshin Impact of fighting games in a lot of ways. So, yeah, that's a fucking big drop off for sure.
Oh yeah, and as somebody just pointed out in chat, very properly, that's a huge drop off. Also, considering it's free to play.
Right.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. That'll be studied somewhere in like marketing for video games or something to have that much of drop off and like what they did wrong. There's got to be something, right? It's not just the game. People just stop playing the game. I don't know. It's wild.
That's wild.
Wild drop off. Yeah. See if there's anything else. We got PlayStation VR 2 reviews. Pretty positive.
Good.
They said the hardware is pretty good. Yeah. As with all VR, it comes down to like, yeah, the VR, the headset's great. The tech is great. It's pretty solid headset. It's having HDR OLED lenses makes it like one of the brightest, if not the brightest headset, I think was a lot of the taglines for that. But it all comes down to the software.
Didn't like 5 or 6 games release with it?
There are a lot of games there's 30 titles, I want to say, at launch, but a lot of that stuff is like older VR stuff. I can pull up the list here.
20 plus for launch day, said Ranger Void in chat.
Yeah. Here's the full list. Horizon Call the Mountain, Gran Turismo 7, After the Fall, Puzzling Places, Resident Evil Village, Res Infinite, Song in the Smoke, Tetris Effect Connected, Altair Breaker, Cities VR, Enhanced Edition, Cosmonius High, Daimyo, Drums Rock, Dyschronia, Chronos Alternate, Fantavision, Firewall Ultra, Job Simulator, 2050 Archives, Jurassic World Aftermath Collection, Kayak VR, Mirage, Kazuna AI, Touch the Beat, Moss and Moss Book 2 Bundle, NFL Pro Era, Pavlov VR, Pistol Whip, Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, Synth Riders, Tentacular, The Last Clockwinder, The Light Brigade, The Tale of Onogoro, Thumper, Townsman VR, Vacation Simulator, What the Bat, Zenith, The Last City, and Zombieland Headshot Fever Reloaded. The hottest title for PSVR. Yeah, so a lot of that stuff has been out in the world of VR. There's very few things that are new. The big, obviously, first-party thing is Horizon.
Did that get reviewed as well?
It did, yeah, and it seemed pretty fine. They weren't saying it's
pretty
like
fine.
They weren't saying it's incredible, but they were saying it's fine. Fidelity was great. The game looks great, operates great. It's just not like an Alex. It's not I don't think it's the standout genre defining or hardware defining.
Exactly what VR needs.
It does. It needs
That's
another
what
one.
VR needs. It needs Alex.
Yeah. But the hope is, now you've got Sony. Now you got PlayStation out there doing more VR stuff with more powerful headsets. So maybe the software comes along in the next 6 months, year. It's not just like, not to disrespect or sound as if I'm disrespecting the indie stuff from the VR world. It's not just VR stuff. They have a lot more funds over at Sony to bake into the VR software moving forward. So I hope we get some cool stuff out of that. Are you? I
honestly think they need like a widely accessible title, like a new Beat Saber. They need something that everyone can enjoy and is fun. but like the idea of it is simple, you know. The
Yeah.
idea of Beat Saber is very simple and it's super fun and it's easy for everyone to kind of get into and understand what's going on. And I think that's might be what they need. I don't know if it's you know, a music game or something like that, but I'm just saying, like, you know, a Wii Sports, you know, something that everybody can get into.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I think there's also the, you know, the financial issue of it's what, $600, $500, something like that. It's not a cheaper headset. It's comparative to like the full bundle that existed for the original PSVR, where you got the controllers, a game, and some other stuff. I think with this, you just get the headset and the two controllers with it. So you going to be streaming it, on Tuesday or this week? Or you going to put
Maybe.
it?
Mine's on my way. I mean, I've got a laundry list of games.
There's
I'm
a lot of
currently
stuff this
playing.
week. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a huge amount of stuff that I'm interested in. I already got stuff that I'm working on. So doubtful for now, but I plan to eventually take a look at it for sure.
Yeah. I was watching the review and I was like, maybe I'll get one of the, and then I looked over and there was 5 VR headsets just sitting on the ground. That's like, you don't need another one of us. This would be your 5th fucking VR headset in your house.
I think that's fair.
And you haven't used any of us in like since Alex came out, right? That was the last time I put on a VR headset. So we'll see. Well, I'll probably wait till we get like the crazy go-to game for it, because it doesn't sound like Horizon is that game. I guess if you were really into racing, Gran Turismo 7 could be that game. If you really want like a simulator for it, but everything else, I'm not interested. Maybe Resident Evil Village 2. You guys, both of you enjoyed 7 so much in VR. Yeah. Village might be
that could be good
up your alley for PSVR 2. So that comes out this week. You'll probably see a bunch of videos and maybe even some streamers for that. I think that's it for news. We mentioned Genshin, I think, or not Genshin. Mentioned Isshin. Reviews are out. Game reviewed well. Mm-hmm. Streamers have been playing, I think, since Friday night. People talking very favorably about it.
It's great.
Yeah,
it's just great.
Did you you played some of it? You streamed some of it?
Yeah, I did. I've done a couple sessions so far, and I've loved every bit of it. Sure. So Isshin is basically Yakuza in kind of an alternate historical setting. It's all the characters that you know and love from the various different Yakuza games, but they're all playing different characters. So, you know, it takes place in the 1860s at a very tumultuous time in Japan when, you know, European ships with black tar were invading and guns were just becoming a thing. And the game basically is it's a different but similar take on the Yakuza standard gameplay loop. Not like a Dragon, the turn-based stuff, but the traditional, more action-oriented stuff. You've got 4 different modes this time. You've got like a brawler, a sword, a pistol, and then a sword and pistol. So there's literally an entire art devoted to taking out a gun and shooting people repeatedly until they die. Like literally, you just hold down X and he just infinitely fires his revolver. He never has to reload. Just dung 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 dung. It's ridiculous. But it's kind of hilarious at the same time.
Nice.
So the game's been a lot of fun so far. It is in Japanese only with English subtitles. It's got some fun progression systems. We've already run into multiple different mini games, and it's just so cool if you've played through Yakuza to see like the people that you know and love and you've played with and had these amazing stories for just like randomly pop up as different characters and people in the game. It's very cool, very cool.
So, to jump back to the story, are they telling a story as if they are those characters? Like, is that?
Yes, the premise is that the characters in Like a Dragon Isshin are different people in a historical setting that are similar to their characters in the main franchise.
Is it
so
part of the same
Ryoma,
story then?
No.
Oh,
no.
so
it's not like these are the ancestors or anything like that.
Okay, so it's just
it's nothing like that. It's alternate timeline. Yeah, it's
got it.
Timeline.
Okay, that's what I was at. Okay.
Yeah, it's like if if you're watching an anime and they do one of those like anime alternate timeline
I don't
episodes.
watch
It's
anime.
that.
Cool.
I don't lie to us all. But yeah, it's that kind of thing. Where it's It's very similar to that. So like the main character Ryoma, who is Kiryu as we know it,
Okay.
even though he is playing Ryoma, it's Kiryu. It looks like Kiryu. It's the same voice actor. He acts the same way.
Do they make references like in the moment, or do they try to keep it?
Sorry, that came out of nowhere. No, a sneeze just attacked me. I apologize.
Well, I thought someone.
I had no time to mute. I was like, "Where's the meow?" Nope.
A good way to think about it. A good way to think about it is if the people from the main franchise were actors and they were playing different roles in like a show.
Okay.
But all the characters they were playing had similar traits to their actual characters. So like Kiryu or Ryoma is not like a flamboyant, like, crazy high energy person. He's still Kiryu.
He's still
He
stoic
still has
as
the
hell.
same energy level. He's still stoic as hell. He still has many of the same mannerisms. And that's how it is for all of the people. Akiyama's kind of sly. The florist is in there, and he's kind of like doing his like pretty much all the characters. I don't know why I'm taking a few. Like most of the characters from the Yakuza franchise have been in here, and I've only been playing it for a few hours. Have been in here kind of being similar characters. Not all bad characters are good, and not all good characters are bad. So there is some kind of interesting shakeups there. So villains from the main story may not necessarily be villains in this game. But yeah, it's been a thing. Is Libido in there? There has been a Libido-esque character, but I don't think it was actually him. Yeah. There was a shop owner, and I'm not going to spoil it for you. But there was an interesting scene with a shop owner that was a lot of fun. There's some very raunchy stuff in this game.
Yeah. The only thing I can remember from playing, well, not the only thing, but the only thing I want to remember that was sparked in you talking about this are the baby people in this somehow.
Oh, I have not yet seen the baby people. We have not yet seen them. No.
Okay. Are those in every Yakuza game, or is it just
no?
No. They're not a recurring.
They're not a reoccurring character set. Yeah.
Got it. They should be.
They have been, I think, in a multiple, but not all of them.
Yeah, they should be. Great. How are you liking the idea that because you've played most of these games with English VO, right? Just for streaming purposes?
Well, I played the ones that I could in English VO. Not all of them have English VO. So this is not the first time I've played a Yakuza game in Japanese. It makes it tougher to stream.
Yeah.
It makes it a lot tougher to stream. And it's fully voice acted, which is amazing. But the problem is that a very large percentage of our audiences do not watch our stream. They have us on a side monitor while they're playing games or doing, helping with their kids, or maybe they're at work. So it's hard to stream games like this because, if you don't speak Japanese, you miss out on most of it. So what I'm doing is like at the end of most of the major cutscenes and stuff, I'll give a little English synopsis about what happened. So if people can't watch, then, at least they stay somewhat caught up.
Yeah.
But even that is it's just not enough, to put it bluntly. So, it's a thing.
But even that, I mean, I'm sure this game is 15, 20 hours. That's going to you're going to be exhausted.
So it's a lot longer than that. Yeah. If
you
do all the side stuff, just like any Yakuza game, it's like 20% main story and then like 80% everything else that's going on. So
yeah. Sounds like they dropped the Yakuza thing, right? Now it's just Like a Dragon. There's no more Yakuza.
It is now Like a Dragon, which interestingly enough is the name of the studio in English. Ryu Gagotoku is Like a Dragon.
Oh.
So so it is they've adopted this name to kind of indicate their next generation of Yakuza games. We're mostly going with the Like a Dragon stuff because of the main new franchise with Kasuga and the turn-based combat and all that kind of stuff. But since this is a newer iteration, I think they threw it on here as well.
Yeah. I also guess for branding purposes, Like a Dragon works a lot better than Yakuza.
Yeah, also, to be clear, Yakuza is actually the English name of the franchise anyway.
Yeah.
So it's actually called Like a Dragon in Japan.
Oh, really?
It's always been Like a Dragon in Japan. Yeah, it's like Rockman and Mega Man. It's always Rockman in Japan, it's Mega Man in English.
I wonder if they made it Yakuza in English to like attract people like, ooh, what's that Yakuza game?
Well, originally it was about Yakuza, kind of like, we have Mafia, which is another franchise.
Yeah.
Similar to the third one, it's barely about that anymore. So this, for instance, like it'd be kind of weird to call it Yakuza because there's no Yakuza in it. Like this is a completely different thing. So, it's that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. Zeke, are you playing this off stream? You can play it on stream. I know you're a Yakuza fan like Co?
You know, people have been asking me recently, since it's, you know, in early access or whatever, if I'm gonna play it. Like, probably, but I'll be honest with you, like, there's no chance for karaoke in this, so I'm like,
There's absolutely karaoke in it.
There's absolutely karaoke. I know that. Yeah.
there is.
Yeah.
I've already done it.
How? This is.
You
I mean,
it's called a singing bar.
Yeah, anyone
And it's
can
one
sing.
of the
Get the
first of
fuck
its
outta
type.
here.
And if you'd like to try it out for the small fee of 500 yen, you can go up there and
I saw that in
That's
the
what
review
get
I
for
watched.
Fucking
Yeah.
assuming,
Yeah.
I guess.
makes an ass out of
Is
me.
that all they have to do?
That's-
They,
Is Bakamite in there?
It absolutely is.
Oh
he's
my
in it.
god.
You're selling them.
Oh my god.
You're selling them.
I might have to wait though. Like, honestly, like, business wise, I might have to wait till it's, you know,
Become a
past
cult
its
classic.
Twitch Prime, so to speak,
Yeah.
and
Cut away.
play it after, you know, everybody who wants to play it themselves have had a chance to play it.
Well, here you got to remember the game's been out for years. So, and that's another interesting thing about this game. This is not a new game. This is a reboot of a game that's been out in Japan for a decade. No, maybe not quite a decade, but it's been out
that
for
old?
literal years. Absolutely, this is a remake and English localization.
I didn't know it was
Oh,
that old. Jeez.
Like a Dragon Isshin. Yep, been out since 2014. So yeah, almost 10 years.
I had no idea.
So yeah, so that
crazy.
makes streaming it a little bit easier. Thankfully,
Okay.
I have not had to deal with spoilers, but everyone has been like super chill about it. Some people in chat you obviously know have already played the game and stuff like that because you know many people have.
Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, it's definitely makes it a fun experience.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Is
So
that
it's tentative that I will play it, but it'll probably be down the line a little bit.
okay? All right. Is that on Game Pass or anything, or is it just buy it?
I don't think so. I don't
Okay.
think it's on Game Pass.
So no, like
will have to help me out there.
Yakuza, whatever the other Like a Dragon. I called it Like a Dragon, but now, what do you call the JRPG Like a Dragon? Was that Yakuza 8?
Like a Dragon. It's Yakuza Like a Dragon.
So that one was just Yakuza Like a Dragon?
I believe so. Well, I think it was
I don't even
technically
think it had
was
the
7. I think it was Yakuza 7, actually.
Oh, it was, yeah. Yeah, it did have
was
the first title, Yakuza Like a Dragon. If that's the official title on Steam.
Chat's saying Yakuza 7 is what they're calling it. And the new one is Like a Dragon 8.
It's the 7th in the line.
It's funny because if you Google Yakuza 7, the game Yakuza Like a Dragon comes up.
That's what I'm
So,
saying.
like,
That's kind of confusing.
No, it
and
is.
it is
called
called Yakuza Like a
line.
Dragon on Steam.
Huh.
I just realized, wait a second. So they okay, Japan.
That's fucking confusing.
You literally took the name of your game in Japan and then you changed it for the United States. And then you made a game called the change name : the Japanese name.
It's a transition.
Are
I
you
believe.
just in with us at this point?
No.
Like, is this just a troll?
I think it's a transition. I think this game is saying Yakuza Like a Dragon, and now
that's the
game they
transition.
released, they took off Yakuza, and it's Isshin. It's Like a Dragon.
Like a Dragon Isshin. And then the next one, I think the next
will be Like
Yakuza
a Dragon 2
game is Like a Dragon something else. Yeah, I think. Okay.
for us, maybe in the States,
Maybe.
or maybe it'll be Like a Dragon 8. I'm not sure because that's the same thing they did with fucking Biohazard and Resident Evil, right?
That's confused. That's confused. Do we know the official name of the next game? I think they called it Like a Dragon 2 when they announced it, didn't they?
Let's see.
I don't think they're calling it Like a Dragon 8.
That is
Japan.
what on the Sega YouTube video for
It is
the
Okay,
announcement
yep.
of the game.
It's
It
called
is Like a Dragon 8. Like
They
a
are
Dragon
phasing
8
out
will
the word
arrive in
Yakuza out of
2024.
all of it.
So
Yep.
watch them call it Yakuza Like a Dragon 2 here, just to completely mess with everyone.
Whew.
Like, what are they gonna call it here?
Well,
They might just
listen.
Dragon Like a Yakuza. Okay.
Actually, you know what this is most like? This is most like Final Fantasy. They did it for a while, US release, Japanese release, blah, 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 blah. And then they were just like, stop. Now it's all on the same number.
Yeah,
And I think that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, that could
Maybe.
be the case. Whew. Anyways, thanks for joining us on that
I
journey,
am
chat.
so confused.
If you're as confused as we are, it's okay. You'll figure it out. Returnal all right on the PC, Co? Just quick check-in.
It's great.
Is it
Oh my
everything?
God.
we hoped for?
Okay, so when I played Returnal on a keyboard and mouse, I constantly felt like I was wrestling, or excuse me, on a controller. When I originally put it on a controller, felt like I was constantly wrestling with it. Died all sorts of times. Like it was a real dude. Returnal was made for keyboard and mouse. If you are a keyboard and mouse user primarily, like it feels so good, so good. I have not died in 18 hours.
Wow. Does it make the game that much easier?
For me, it does. Absolutely.
Sure, yeah.
Like it is so much more intuitive to do snap shooting, to do like all sorts of like it is nice. It's I mean everyone that wants to has played it.
Sure, you can show it. Yeah, don't care.
But gameplay. It is absolutely awesome. I'm loving it. I'm currently working on the true ending, and then I'm gonna do the DLC. It has been a joy to revisit. The voice acting in it is so good. The gameplay is just so frenetic and awesome. And yeah, it's been a total joy revisiting the game, and it's been awesome.
Yeah,
such a great game.
Countless times playing this on PlayStation. Always also, like, man, I wish I had a mouse and keyboard. So
I gotta say, playing through it a second time and not having my hopes completely crushed by an ending that I was hoping for is making it a little bit easier. Like we've spent more time kind of like analyzing the story and talking about the story and all the different things it could mean and things of that nature. And it's made the whole experience, I feel like, a little bit better. I'm glad that I know they're going the complete cop-out route of it could be all a dream ending. That helps take the sting out a little bit, knowing that going in. Of course, for the record, I'm not really spoiling anything. The game is very publicly open to interpretation, which is what I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
For the record, it actually may be a real thing, and we still don't, nobody knows for sure, and that's the whole point of the game is nobody knows for sure. But yeah, it's been great revisiting it. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm still really, really enjoying it. Been playing it 20 hours, and it's as good as the first time, if not better.
Have you? I guess is finished a run how you would describe it, or is it?
I have finished 6 runs so far.
Okay.
And I'm still working through it.
Got it. You got to try. You got 100% it. Like you finding yourself.
I'm not gonna like platinum it, but I'm gonna get the true ending, which involves like first you have to beat it. There's 2 different routes. There's basically Route A and Route B.
Yeah.
And you have to beat Route A, and then you have to beat Route B, and then you have to go through the game and visit a certain part of the game. This house that gives like story stuff a bunch of times. And then eventually you have to go through the game and get these fragments. Each biome has a big fragment. And then when you get all the fragments, you have to complete the game again. And that unlocks like the true ending.
Yeah.
And then after we do that, then we're going to go to the Tower of Sisyphus DLC, the Tower of Syphilis DLC in Zeke's case. And we will be kind of working through that and getting all of the I like the delayed reaction there. And then getting all of the getting all the cool like story stuff there. The Tower of Sisyphus is actually a very difficult. It's like a roguelite in a roguelite. It's kind of it's a much more difficult way to do the game. So I'm anticipating many deaths in there. But it does have like actual interesting story element content stuff, which I think will be
nice.
Well, I think it'll be more interesting with this run going in and getting it. Yeah.
Looks good. Looks like it performs well too. I'm sure. Were you getting like
performing well? The mouse and keyboard is great. I'm playing it mostly 144, and it's mostly keeping up. There has been reportedly some issues with performance, but nothing like Wild Hearts level of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been working pretty damn well.
Awesome. Is this they charging full price for it on PC? $70?
I think they are.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I was I was getting the question a lot. Is it worth it? And I would basically say it's pretty much completely worth it if you've never played it. But I would say you'd kind of have to be in my boat to want to get it again, where if you really felt you were struggling with the controller the first time through, and you want to try to revisit it in a more optimal setting. Also, of course, the 144 looks gorgeous in 1440p. It all looks gorgeous, and it runs really well on higher end systems.
Yeah,
mid to high end systems. So it's cool, very cool.
Returnal is a very good game, and it was always, man, I wish I had a mouse and keyboard. So I'm glad that it's there.
You should give it a try, man.
It's $60 right now, so I might.
It feels so good with mouse and keyboard. It really, like, the snap shooting and stuff is just phenomenal. Little warning: it does start you at medium auto aim, even with the mouse and keyboard. So I actually
does it pull your mouse
midway through? What it does is it makes it so, like, if you're anywhere near your enemy when you aim, that the bullets just kind of hit the enemy. So,
okay.
Funny enough, it's interesting because it makes it easier in some respects, but also much harder to lead in others. So I actually ended up turning my auto aim off, and it didn't become more difficult.
Yeah.
It just felt different. So I turned it off about halfway through when a viewer told me that it was on. And in some ways, it did get easier, funny enough, without auto aim, particularly when you're shooting at like fast enemies or enemies that are far away.
That makes sense. Cool. Mm-hmm. I might have to check that out. There's a lot of stuff coming out this week, though, so we'll see.
Yeah. My lord.
Might be an offline game. We'll have to see. Zeke, what have you been playing? What's been going on in your neck of the woods?
Well, I have
a handful of things. I saw Deliver Us from Mars, Breakout 13.
Yeah, Deliver Us from
Mars.
What
do you think? Yeah, what do you think?
Do that.
I loved it. I absolutely loved Deliver Us Mars. It's one of those story heavy games that's not real, the gameplay aspect of it it's there, but it's by no means like it's a background player. It's an extra to the story of the game. A couple of things like right off the bat, like you might look at this game and see someone streaming it. If you only look at it for like 5 or 10 minutes or whatever, you'll notice that like some of the, like, I just want to get this out of the way. Some of the graphical and, facial animations, graphical imitations and stuff like that, you'll notice that. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But
it's a double A to indie game.
Hey, playing a lot of Wild Hearts. Yeah. This looks good. This looks pretty good.
But that's the end of the like any sort of bitching I would do about the game is that's just money, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. And
money and resources. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like I made the analogy, like you give a master carpenter one hammer and like that's it. He could probably build you a house, but it's not going to be as good as if he had all of the tools in the tool shed to build a house with.
Yeah.
So they did the best of what they could. Now, I will say that the story is just as good as Deliver Us the Moon. I loved it. It's intriguing. It was, it's another, just like Deliver Us the Moon. It's a mystery that you have to kind of figure out as you go along what happened. It starts off with a bang, a really, really cool scene that kind of sets up the entire game, telling you like, oh, we have to figure out why the thing at the beginning happened. And there's a different relationship, both like familial relationship stuff that you have to like, the game pieces together for you, and you understand like why people did the things they did seemingly out of nowhere, or for like you look at it and you're like, holy shit, why would you ever do this thing? I'm trying to dance around the plot because the plot's kind of the main thing.
Yeah. Especially if you haven't played Deliver Us the Moon, which you absolutely want to play before this game if you're going to play this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I jumped into it without like doing like a refresher or having played Deliver Us the Moon in a long time, and I went, okay, we're going to stop right now. And I went to the wiki, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to give you a synopsis of Deliver Us the Moon because I need it too. So I read the synopsis, and I was like, okay, it directly relates to the first game. And there are people and references and all that kind of shit from the first game that, have an effect on this game and are called up and, become plot points, stuff like that. So,
makes sense.
Can you play this without playing the second one? I wouldn't. Without playing the first one, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
At least they're both great,
just like JP did or Zeke did.
Yeah, I played.
They're both great, so they're worth playing. And I played it all the way to the end. There's some. If I were to describe the gameplay, it's like semi-open world puzzle elements. There's stuff like Talos principle puzzling, like direct the laser to open the door. There's that kind of shit is mainly what it is, gameplay wise, but it's very, very, very focused on the story. I will say the story is great. It is really good, but the voice acting is phenomenal. It is super, super on point.
Nice.
It is emotional. It is believable. It is heartbreaking at times. It is fucking angering at times. Like I was sitting there shouting at some of the characters, like, fuck you. No, you're an asshole. Like, like, how dare you think you can blah, 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 that kind of shit. So it gets you really invested and really immersed. And they did a really good job, like fleshing out the environment and the world, the literal world that you're on, Mars. They did a very good job of making it, evoking emotions with it, like making you feel lonely or isolated, or feeling because you. One of the mechanics of both games is you find holograms, and conveniently, the holograms are of very pivotal times in the fucking plot. I don't know.
That's
how they
strange.
figured out to do that. I know, it's weird.
Crazy.
Yeah, and they put them on your path. Weird.
Yeah, I know.
And in order.
It's like,
And in order, yeah. Like, how do they deal with the continuity? Why that's wild. How do they know you're going to walk there?
My point exactly. And I came up with a solution. I came up with a reason why there's not just 100, thousands of holograms, because they're always recording, I would assume. They only start recording and leave behind a hologram for you to discover, because the things that record the holograms are jacked right into your heart rate. So if the character's heart rate is up, or the people in the game's heart rate is up, then they start recording and they'll leave a hologram for you.
So
that was my only explanation for it.
So many, just everywhere. It's just like basically like a palace of porn. It's crazy.
Shit! I didn't even think about that. Oh, damn it!
Oh,
You're right.
just everywhere.
Oh man.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Ghosts of sex past just everywhere.
That's right.
Oh,
Everywhere,
is this a plot, or is this just another sex one?
They did
Oh,
a
damn it,
dare?
it's another sex one.
What? I worked there.
It becomes like going through chat roulette. Remember that? Chat roulette or Omegle or whatever. It's
Chatterbait or whatever it was called. Yeah.
Oh, hey.
I don't know those sites. What are you guys
Natural
talking
person.
about? What are they? Weird. Strange. These names.
No, I was one of the weird ones that went on like chat roulette to actually, just talk to random people
Just
rather
wanted
than
to
see
have
dicks.
a conversation.
I know. I was one of those weird people that's just like, I want to meet someone who I've never met before. All right, that's 30 dicks.
And after the 50th one, Zeke finds a guy. Hey, do you just want to talk? Yeah, can I do it with my thing out? You know what? Fine, whatever. Let's just talk.
I'll
That's
take
cool.
it.
Whatever.
Listen, pal, that's the
I'll
best deal
take
I've got all day.
Oh God.
But anyways, getting back to Deliver Us Mars.
Yeah, story-driven single-player game.
Yeah. No, it's
Science fiction and space and stuff.
Yeah, we had a blast in chat talking about, like, I mean, this is how learning should be, because I was playing a video game, but I was also learning about what kind of atmosphere Mars has. The fact that Mars does, in fact, have poles with ice on them, but the ice is not water; it is CO2. It is carbon dioxide water, or carbon dioxide. It's dry ice. I did not know that. I did not know that Mars does have a very, very thin atmosphere. I've learned that the sky on Mars is pinkish, orangish. But the reason why it's that is and that's led to the conversation of the atmosphere on Mars being very thin, but not zero. Because if it was zero, like it is on the moon, then the sky would just be stars, just be black.
Right.
So it does have a very thin atmosphere.
You actually took notes.
Yeah.
We always make notes about
Learn
it. You
shit.
actually took notes.
Yeah,
That's
he was
fantastic.
doing real notes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude.
We learned that Mars is about a little over a third the size of the Earth. So it's smaller than the Earth, but a third the size. About 1/4 gravity, like give or take.
Hey, if you
gravity
like, if you're a big fan of
Earth.
Mars, you should watch The Martian with Matt
I
Damon.
did.
That's a good film.
We talked about potatoes the whole.
Yeah, I started to
playthrough.
say that film.
I said
comes on a
science
lot.
the shit out of it a few times. It's
great.
As I was playing through it.
I like that.
Oh, my.
Like that film. It's good.
But yeah, it's like a really great game. It's relatively short. It's not on my. That's right, because I got it on Epic.
So somebody just goes, it's like Zeke just got home from school and wanted to tell Daddy JP and Co about his day.
Yeah. Hey, no, I'm learning too. Here's the funny part about that is the parents are also learning all the information that their kid is reciting to them.
Oh, I know.
They have
right?
to act like they've never, or they've always known that. It's like, yeah, of course Mars has got thin atmosphere.
Of course.
Duh. Everyone knows that.
God, the things my oldest comes up and tells me about Minecraft that I just have no idea about. Like,
Oh,
it's amazing what this kid has. Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, we reached that phase.
Of course, I knew that's how that recipe worked, and you had to kill this guy to get that thing, and that dropped, and that's how you spawn that enemy that you need.
As a kid, I always told myself I would never become the older person that is surprised by technology and doesn't understand how it works, because that's all I was about as a kid. Our teenager came up and said, "Hey, I need you to go configure the wireless to do this so I can do this." And I said, "How do I do that?" And I was just, I will get right on that. And I had to go like Google all this shit so she could access something for school. It's just
I had my kid yesterday tell me that I needed to come help him upgrade the mod framework so he could use the newest mod pack, and I was just like, "Oh, the mod framework." And he goes, "Yeah, it's something to do with the fabric," and I was like, "The fabric?
Hey, I know that word.
Of course, the fabric. It has to do with the fabric, chat. It's the
popular mod.
Fabric.
God.
Is this the drip I've been hearing so much about?
It might be.
Thank God it literally had to do with hitting a drop down and hitting like latest version. And I was like, oh, thank God. Okay, we can do this.
Yeah.
We're not completely lost quite yet. Okay. We're good.
Anyway,
we're old.
Yeah, we're old.
It's a relatively short game. If it's story driven, it's really fun. I can't. If space sci-fi, plot heavy shit sounds like a good game, this is fucking excellent. I loved it.
Without spoiling it at all, what did you think of the ending?
Without spoiling.
Without spoiling it, what did you think of the ending?
You could just do a thumbs up, thumbs down.
It made me a little angry, honestly. It made me actually a little bit more than it made me moderately angry and upset. That was one of those times when I kept yelling at the.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Fuck!
On the Zeke Screamometer, where were we at? What was the decibel level?
Not too high.
Okay.
Like, it wasn't a frustrated, like, I can't do this. It wasn't my scream. It was me screaming at somebody else. So I wasn't screaming. Usually when I scream, it's at myself.
You want me to put up spoiler tag? You guys can jump in or no?
You know what?
Nah.
I don't know. I don't think so. Because the thing that's so interesting about the ending is how unique it is and how much emotion it evokes.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Cool.
Like, it's not, you don't need to discuss it beyond that, but it's one of the more unique endings I've ever seen in a game.
Nice. All right.
Yep. That's it.
Awesome.
And
definitely worth
I
the
gotta
run.
give it. I'd be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to, and I'm probably gonna butcher the pronunciation, but the Kyokin team. They actually, a couple of them came in the chat and they were very cool and very
that's awesome.
very fun and funny and helpful. And they didn't even give me shit about my takes on certain characters and the jokes I made and shit like that. They actually kind of dug it. They're like, "We like that you didn't take the game too seriously." I'm like, I don't take anything too seriously, dude. So yeah.
Also, while we're talking about it, kind of an awesome little anecdote here. So the guy that played the dad in the game is a really, really good voice actor. Obviously, does a great job. He is the guy that plays the vampire companion in Baldur's Gate 3. And he is also the guy that directed the entire game's voice acting.
Oh, wow.
So he did like all of it. So he was actually like one of the main characters and also did like directed like the whole game. And his name is Neil Newbaum, and he did a phenomenal job. Like, holy shit.
Dude, and you can absolutely tell, like, I would stop frequently playing through on my playthrough and point out, like, that scene or that line, those dialogue, like, it was, you could tell it was rehearsed. The actors were feeling like they were really, really trying to, like, put their best effort into this. And it really came across, and it was very, very good. It wasn't schlocky. It wasn't, pathos is a word that I don't frequently use, but it was believable. It wasn't like community theater, like screaming and yelling surface stuff. It was actually like really touching and at times infuriating. Well done.
Yeah, good job. The that voice actor also plays Carl Heisenberg from Resident Evil 8, the hammer dude. If you have played RE8.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got some range on him. He's done some stuff. He's been some places.
Awesome.
You've seen some shit.
He has seen some shit. Yeah. Where we want to go from here? We can talk Wild Hearts. I do want to just interject this because it's kind of a shocking thing, at least on this show, that someone actually played a Switch game and had a good time. I played Theatrhythm Final Bar Line. It's a rhythm game. Perfectly runs fine on the Switch. I don't know if either of you will enjoy it, but for anyone that was curious in chat, if you enjoy Final Fantasy, it has 500 plus songs that you can play. And it's a rhythm game that also has some like light RPG elements to it.
Theatrhythm.
Theatrhythm, is that how you say it? Theatrhythm?
Theatrhythm?
I think it's Theatrhythm.
Theatrhythm, I would say.
Something like
It's
that.
theater rhythm, Theatrhythm.
Sure, let's go with that. It's really good. It's fucking hard. If you have any inclination to play a rhythm game and you have enjoyed Final Fantasy music before, you should probably play this game. There's a demo for it. It's worth checking out. They have literally every Final Fantasy in this game, plus like Chrono Trigger, plus Nier, plus Romancing Saga, plus like a bunch of other things. And it's a rhythm game. And you get all the characters. It has some light RPG elements where you do like boss battles as you're doing things as you're playing the game. It is, and I've been playing a lot of this off stream when I'm done with Wild Hearts.
How do you know what buttons to press? They're not even labeled.
Yeah, so that's maybe there might be some explanation needed there. Here, I'll use this controller. So the bar on the right, for any one of those singular notes, you can press any of the face buttons or any trigger or any button on top. It does not matter. For the line things, you have to use, so for that one, it was down, so you push down on either joystick. When there's two of them, you go one in either way. It sounds complicated, it's really not. If there's two of them, then you press down two buttons. If there's four of them, then you lose the game like I do, because it's fucking hard. It gets very difficult very, very quickly. But they have like, all the classic songs from Final Fantasy, like One Wing Angel from Final Fantasy VII's in there, for example. And on the super hard difficulties, you're all over the place.
With those slides, it looks like Trombone Hero. Are you going?
Oh yeah. So for that one, you hold down a button and then move the joystick up or down to kind of like follow the line. And it's
Trombone Champ. Sorry.
Yeah, Trombone Champ. Yeah, it doesn't have that effect. They're kind of just like little pings, I guess is how I would say it. But it works really well on the Switch. It's the one thing where I've been like, yeah, this is why the Switch exists, because you could play this game and set it down after 30 minutes of playing. And it's also, there's like 500 songs, so I don't know, at 30 minutes a time, I don't know if I'll ever get to anywhere near 100 songs of that. And I think it used to be in the arcade or something like that, or like that's where this originated, was Japanese arcades.
It does look like an arcadey game.
Yeah,
that makes total sense. And there's one dude that just sits at it for hours, and he's just going like, and turning around and doing all this shit. Like,
yeah,
I saw a Tokyo video game arcade, and that I am, if anything, I am downplaying it. Like how
they go crazy yeah.
That shit gets.
Have you seen? Oh God, I'm gonna blank on the name. It's like the evolution of DDR, but it's a certain style of dance that I don't know off the top of my head. Chat, it's the game that has the panel on it where there's no buttons. It's just a giant bass. And it's a certain style of, God damn it, I wish I could remember the name. Someone's going to say it though. Yes, shuffling. You have to shuffle when you play this game.
Oh, and the rave dancing.
The rave dancing thing. Yeah.
Nice.
It's wild to watch people play.
It's big on the TikTok.
Is it? Oh, have you seen that?
A lot of shuffling. I've been in shuffling TikTok.
What does shuffle? What does shuffle mean for
Wait,
those of us?
Hold on. How did you get into shuffling TikTok? How did that pop up on your feed?
Sir, if I told you some of the TikToks that are in my algorithm, I would probably blow your mind. We're just gonna leave it there. What is shuffling? Shuffling is basically a it's kind of like it's stepping, if you've kind of heard of that. So it's basically like a dance style that involves a lot of like stomping and moving quickly and but it's mostly leg based and yeah. And you kind of like move back and forth but make big leg movements while you do it. Like two-step.
Yeah.
Is it the truffle shuffle? No, that's something totally different.
No, that's something different. Yeah, yeah. The game's called Dance Rush Stardom. Let me just skip ahead in the video so you can see. These
it's really big at raves and EDM and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Like this looks so fun to play compared to DDR because it's so much more free form. But I just don't know if I feel like I would break my fucking ankle doing this or something. It seems
so. Are there like there must be like quarters. Oh, it is segmented though. Like it's like a smaller grid where you have to like if it calls for it, you have to go on this side and on this side and this like middle right, middle left.
I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Oh. Yeah, shuffling's not new. No, it's been around for decades.
No, yeah, I'm mostly referring to the game.
I was talking to chat.
Yeah,
this shit's new to me. Like I this is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
this is the dance game that I would definitely watch because this is more like actual dancing rather than
DDR. Yeah, 100%. So this is what showed up on your TikTok. This game particular?
Yeah, there's not this game, but also just like there's like an entire like giant shuffling global community that does like all sorts of shuffling.
Are you a secret dance professional?
I'm a secret shuffler.
Are you?
I am.
Okay. All right.
I'm actually shuffling right now.
Really? That's what's going on with the what type of shorts you rocking while you shuffle?
My shuffle shorts.
Yourself. Okay. Got it. That makes sense. That checks out.
He calls them his shortfuls.
my shortfuls. That's right.
We took that joke way too far.
By the way, just so you know, the contract that we made, like I don't know how many years ago, 6 or 7 years ago now.
Yeah.
Don't worry, still stands. If you die suddenly, I will fly to your place and delete all of your browser histories and all that stuff. So
and right back to you. Absolutely. Gotcha. I need to actually add an addendum to that. TikTok history needs.
Yeah. How do you? I'll ask my the teenager how to delete TikTok history, and I'll get back to you guys about that. I'll circle back. We'll let you know. I'll put in the.
Sounds good.
Yeah. You guys want to talk Wild Hearts? Sure. Should we do some Wild Heartsing? Zeke, it's Monster Hunter.
I will take this opportunity to go to the bathroom.
I was going to say it's probably bio break for Zeke. I will put up Co's footage of this because
you want my story?
Oh, you got a story?
I got a story.
Let's hear your story about Wild Hearts.
Okay. I would like to state that I told this story during the sponsored stream. So
oh God.
Okay. This is my story.
Let's hear it.
I like Monster Hunter. I love Monster Hunter Worlds.
Yep.
There are things about Monster Hunter that have always bothered me. Kind of its big clunky feel and stuff like that, but I've always enjoyed it. I liked Monster Hunter Worlds. I liked it enough to play it again on the PC, played the DLC. However, as I got close to the end of the DLC, I started losing my Monster Hunter Steam. I just stopped. It just became too routine. Just doing the exact same thing all the time, exact same mechanics all the time. So much so that I didn't play Rise, as people know. I didn't play Rise.
Right.
So when Wild Hearts came out, it was a pretty hard pass for me. I was like, I'm done with my Monster Hunter phase. It's just, it looks like more Monster Hunter. I'm done. So about 4 or 5 days ago, they approached me and said, would you like to do a 3-hour sponsor stream of Wild Hearts?
Yeah.
And I said, let me get back to you. And I think that night or the next day, I was talking to chat and I said, okay, chat, here's the deal. I got offered this thing. You guys know I'm kind of cashed about this. What do you guys think? Like, first, is this something you want to check out? Like, what do you guys want to know about it? Like, or have any of you played it? Is it bad? Is it just more Monster Hunter? And that's when I first found out about the now rather notorious performance issues which have tanked its Steam's and reviews and things like that. But a surprising amount of people said, you know, as somebody who likes more actiony stuff, you should probably check it out. And I was like, oh, okay, you know, maybe. And then that's also when I found out that, because I had not been really paying attention to this at all. That's when I found out that Gathalion, like more than a few people had been like playing this a lot. Lately.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, okay, I'm curious enough to go ahead and do the sponsored thing. I did the 3-hour sponsored stream today, and I tried a bunch of different weapons. I actually settled on the katana. I like the speed of the katana and everything. And at the end of the 3 hours, I said, you know what? I actually like this better than Monster Hunter.
Yeah, this game's fucking awesome.
I actually like it better than Monster Hunter. The dodging mechanic is much more engaged. I love the fact that there's no weapon sharpening.
Yes.
The progression paths look much more interesting. It's not just like get an end weapon. It's like, oh, what weapon are you using? What path did you take to get to it? And what did you inherit on the way?
That's right.
The building mechanic is actually pretty awesome. I found myself building towers and doing jump attacks all the time. I just recently got the glider, which is cool. I just got the big hammer nail down thing. That's awesome too. But no, I mean, at the end of the day, it's Monster Hunter plus a much more actiony game. And that's the thing that was turning me off of Monster Hunter, was because like Monster Hunter it got to a point with me where it just felt so clunky. I felt like the whole game was slowly running from the monster or sprinting away from him, and then just waiting for an opening and going in and getting some hits in before it inevitably does an attack that's way too strong or too sweeping for you to get out of. And like, it just kind of, and again, I'm not ragging on Monster Hunter here. Monster Hunter is a great game. It's still a lot of fun. It's just, for me, it got too routine, like in how it felt and how it played. And I feel like the dodging and the lack of sharpening and the building and all these little things add up to make it so I was having, and I am having, significantly more fun in this game.
Yeah.
Also, I like that the world is not quite as cutesy. Like, I feel like Monster Hunter takes this super cutesy approach, which I never really liked. It kind of felt out of place. This one's a little less on that. There's no, like, you know, super kawaii characters. It's just like, yeah, we live in this world. And I love the voice acting too.
Pretty good. The voice acting is very good. Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway,
whatever, but
overall,
you say that, but I come back to you fighting like some sort of rodent character with flowers all over it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Cutesy, but it's more like Last of Us looking than cutesy.
Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of like it looks more like fungus weird to me. But at the end of the day, I enjoyed it more. I like this loop. I'm thinking about actually playing it maybe in my cozy streams after Returnal, although I've got a lot of other games I should probably do first.
Yeah.
And I've been enjoying it, man. I've been enjoying it.
Here's the secret that no Monster Hunter fan wants to admit. We've all been playing the same game for about 13 years. And fighting the same monsters for about 13 years.
I have been told that Rise is quicker. But
it is.
I still don't see.
But it's still Monster Hunter. Like they have a little bit of things.
This game is 80% Monster Hunter. Like, let's be real. It's not. It's
the beginning.
It's taking what Monster Hunter is and then like growing on it.
I will say this. So I finished the game. I saw credits roll, and I'm in post game now at about 34, 35 hours. The first.
I'm sorry. Somebody said, Ko said no cutesy stuff in the game. He says as he's fighting a mob with a flower on its head with an umbrella that's pink. Like, okay, fair. That's fair.
That's fair. Sure. Yeah. Well, that umbrella's got blades on the. I don't know if it has blades on it.
That's true.
The first 5 to 10 hours of this game are literally Monster Hunter. Like there is very little difference between this and Monster Hunter. Once you unlock a certain thing or aspects of the building, the game is not like Monster Hunter. Like at the end of the game, you're not playing Monster Hunter. You're like putting down harpoon guns and turrets and fighting things that are flying and knocking those things down and then doing Monster Hunter things to those things. But like the game starts to develop its own identity as like it progresses. And it really starts to differentiate itself from Monster Hunter. The other thing that you don't really get to experience because it's so new and it's so, you just don't have the resources ultimately, is the game is Death Stranding when it comes to making the world.
The world yours. Yeah.
And you can't do that at the start because you don't have access to all of the stuff. But like, I'm playing now and I'll join someone's hunt and you load into, and I've done this to one of the zones. There's a lot of zones to do it to, and it took me about an hour and a half. I'll join Japanese players and you load into their area and they've got like 10 fucking things that are automatically collecting resources from the world. They've got 4 giant satellites set up in the map so you can see anything moving at anywhere, as well as all the hidden stuff on the map. You can then walk outside, take the grappling hook thing. Zip line, yeah. Take a zip line over to a mega zip line thing where it's literally the highest point of the map and it feeds out to everywhere else, so you need to get there quickly. You can take 4 different ways to get there. You've unlocked one with the glider. You can glide over there. There's other things where you can literally just fly.
Yeah. That's one thing that feels completely different, is the fact that you can basically build your worlds. Like, as somebody who made zipline networks in Death Stranding, it has become far more interesting. I mean, you can set up your camps where you want, so you can find a high point, set a camp up there so you can fast travel, and then put zip lines wherever you want from that point.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff is very, very cool.
You can set your spawn point so you always spawn there, or anyone can spawn there and get to wherever you need to be in the map quickly. And so like the first 5 hours or first 10 hours, you don't get to do that because you just don't have the resources unlocked or even the things unlocked to do that. And once you start to discover that, the game starts to get really, really fun and really crazy. It's also harder than Monster Hunter. At least Monster Hunter Rise. I think Monster Hunter games have varying difficulty. Rise was like pretty easy. This game, from a solo perspective, you hit kind of the first hurdle when you're fighting that beaver motherfucker. He's kind of an asshole. There's the first major roadblock is fairly soon for you. And here's where I said this yesterday, and I'll say it to you guys because you'll understand. I tuned into Maximilian Dude's stream, and for the first time ever in the history of watching Maximilian Dude, I felt better about myself as a gamer instead of worse because he struggled for 3 to 4 hours on this mob. Just like
the one that you're talking about, the gate one?
Just dying over and over. And I was like, oh my God, like this is Max.
Maybe it's just hard.
Max is
because Max is
he's incredible at fucking video games.
Yeah, Max is really, really good at video games, especially action-oriented games.
Yeah. So, and I didn't tune into his thing and just think like, fuck, Max is so good. Like I'll never be able to do this. He was just died nonstop.
Which is, so I'm to the main village. It's after, but I don't have my second set of weapons yet.
It's the monster in particular is before you get your second set of weapons by about 3 to 4 fights. I think it might be your next quest.
Okay, the last story quest I did was little sugar glider, little winged guy.
It might be
built a little tower.
Do you have your next quest?
No, I haven't turned that in yet.
I think it might be the next one. Yeah.
Okay. The game has many times said like, hey, if you just want to go farm stuff and get your gear better, you probably should go do it. Like every time it says that, I'm kind of like, Well, that's that's the other thing is this game's grindier than Monster Hunter, but the grind is it's less based on RNG. So if you need a rare material, to get that rare material, you just got to break its face. And a face break is going to be pretty hard to do, but once you break it, you're going to 100% get it. There's very little when it comes to like getting a rarity item to a plate to drop. It may not be a harder grind, it's just a different grind.
Yeah, it's a longer grind for most of the stuff.
Oh.
And I've enjoyed it. Like I haven't gotten to anything and I have I have like the last tier of weapon and definitely the last armor unlocked. And it's grindy. Like you got to kill a mob a handful of times. And if you get put into a group, if you're not soloing, you get put into a group that doesn't have the weapons to like break a face or isn't focusing on breaking the face, then you're not going to get, the fang or whatever it is that you need for your weapon craft. So yeah, I absolutely love this game. I've been playing it nonstop since both on stream will end. I'll go get some dinner, then I'll sit down again for 6+ hours after that and just play till way too late into the night.
Nice. And how's the end game? Are you liking it?
It's good. Yeah, I've barely cracked the surface of it, to be honest, but it's hard. They make it so the numbers of it are when you when you do a normal hunt online, it's 60 minutes. When you have 3 deaths, and that's both solo and group play. You have 3 deaths, but you can res people, so it makes it a little easier. The hunts that I'm on now, you have 20 minutes and you have 1 death, and then you fail. And I'm on the easy end game mob. So essentially it's kill X of X mob and you get a token. And then once you get that token, you can try the real fucking hard mob. And I have not done the real fucking hard mobs yet. I don't know what those are like, but the devs have said they're very, very difficult.
So there's entire monsters you don't fight until post game?
No, you've seen, well, it's like Monster Hunter where you fight they have different terminology for them. You fight different versions, like different, like this monster right here has a spore version where he looks a little bit different. And you fight him in
Does he have
a different
moves
arena.
and stuff?
They have some different things about them. Yeah. The volatile, I think. Yeah. There's variants. That's what I'm getting at.
Variants.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's cool. You mentioned the performance issues. It's definitely worth mentioning again. This game does not run great on lower end software.
This game is mostly negative on Steam.
Yeah.
Much of the feedback is actually valid, but the overarching feedback is performance stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other very valid negative feedback as well, but that's the big one. So definitely, like I was saying during the sponsor stream, definitely do your research before you pick this game up.
Absolutely.
They are claiming there's going to be a performance patch next week, but obviously we don't know when it's going to be here or what's going to be in it. So if you have a mid-range system, you are probably better off waiting. Oh, it's only mixed now. It's
gone up.
It's gone up.
That actually is pretty impressive because it was I want to say it was 30% positive or whatever the other day. So the fact that it's going up is, I guess, speaks to the quality of the game outside of the performance issues. People are starting to like it and be positive about it. Trying to think if there's anything else. Story-wise, it's a Monster Hunter story. I've half listened to most of it. It's very much like, oh no, the monster's gonna attack the village. What do we do? Insert your character. I'll hunt him, and then you go hunt the monster, and that's kind of what happens for the entire game.
Also, somebody else pointed out in chat there are some alleviations to the performance via fixes that are both in-game and third-party. That could be another reason that people are actually being able to play the game. And yeah, apparently setting your there's stuff you can do in the NVIDIA panel. One of the first things I was told is right when I started up, they said put your stereo on 5.1. Normal stereo.
I did that.
That helps out.
Yeah.
Although I had the sound bug on the end of my first major hunts. Yeah. And then I had the sound bug, and then I went to go back in, and it told me that my saved game wasn't found. To wait
that happened to
5
Strippin
minutes.
last night. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, and I gave it 5 minutes, and I kept getting the message, but I just went in anyway, and it worked.
Oh wow. Yeah. Strippin had that last night as well, and there's definitely some jank is a word I've been throwing around. There's some issues with it for sure when it comes to performance, and I had a lot of just crash to desktop moments. It's blue screened my PC probably 2 or 3 times. It's just not the best PC optimization for sure.
Yeah.
Hopefully the patches fix it.
Arguably potentially some of the worst.
Well, for what it's worth, if you think back to when Monster Hunter World launched, that game was a steaming pile of shit too. It did not work very well, and they patched it. Yeah,
there were some major issues. Yeah, hopefully the patch next week will be.
It'll be good. I hope. I hope that they know what they're doing. And then not only that, some self boasting here. I consulted on this game. I'm in the game's credits, which are kind of cool. It's the first time that's ever happened to me.
Oh, what do you consult on?
It's called, I'm trying to think of the terminology. Essentially what it was, they announced this at Game Awards last summer, something like that. And so at that point, they had already reached out and kind of shown us the trailer. Basically, we met probably 6 or 7 times, me and 4 other content creators. And they were kind of like, what do you think about this? How do you think that's going to play? Do you think this is good? Do you think that's going to... It's kind of like a focus group type deal.
Actual consulting.
Yeah. And then, we're going to give you a build. We're going to give you an easy vertical here. Go hunt this monster, try this weapon out, let us know what you think, give us some feedback. And with respect to the developers, a lot of the feedback that we did give had meaningful changes in the game. A lot of the feedback that we also gave had no changes at all. But that's kind of, I think, consulting work.
Par for the course.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was cool. Like, that was my first time experiencing something like that. And I am in the literal last section of the game's credits. And it just says JP. There's no McDaniel.
Nothing.
There's no itmeJP. It's just JP. And I think that's great. Because I didn't know if I was going to be in them. They said like, hey, we'd like to take your name and, we want to give you credits in the credit, blah, blah, blah.
That's amazing.
Cool. And I filled out this form and then I never heard anything about it. And so I didn't know if I was going to be in there. And so we finished the game and me and Chad are just watching. It's like, guys, they're showing the logos. Like, we're getting logos for audio and like random oh, there it says it just says JP. But it's next to like Mr. Happy, who we've had on the show. He was in the group.
Mr. Happ, the Final Fantasy 14 streamer?
Yeah, he's a big
cool.
hunter
Pretty
guy. I think Miss Watts, WATTS, was in there. Eric's, who's a big YouTuber, was also a part of our group. And his Soxy Bear, who was this one is kind of wild. Soxy Bear was the former Capcom Monster Hunter community manager.
Yeah.
And he no longer works at Capcom, and he was part of our focus group. And so like
good resource to have.
Yeah, it was really fun because we got to, talk about the game and it was nonstop. We talked a lot about like, yeah, in Monster Hunter they do this, and this, and you could do X, Y, or Z, blah, blah, blah. And then some of those changes got in, it was really cool. So that I enjoyed that aspect of it. And it opened my eyes up to like game development in a small way. Cause we were meeting with actual developers who were like, that's not possible. We can't do that. We might be able to add that type of thing because the game is designed to do X, Y, or Z. So it was like talking to Rami, but about a specific game, and they were able to go and make changes. Then you got to see the final product. So it was cool. I think that's
If I saw that, I would be like, they're thanking all of Japan. Okay.
A lot of
thank you to the people of Japan. Yes.
Yeah. Mr. Happy did get his full name and alias. I must have fucked up in the form or something when it said like, what is your name? And I just put JP.
Maybe it was part of was it a form or did you have any verbal interviews or anything like that?
Oh, we all had like Zoom meetings essentially.
There you go. So maybe when they asked you like, so what do we call you? JP. Okay. Written down forever.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. It was weird. Anyways, that's Wild Hearts Co. You're going to keep playing it. You said maybe night streams.
I would like to. I've just got too much stuff going on right now, and I haven't decided if I'm going to do it in the cozy yet, or if I want to finish up Returnal and stuff. I want to at least finish the main Returnal story, so I'll probably do that tonight. But maybe even as early as tomorrow night or something, depending on if I drink and do more ridiculous assassinations in Hitman. But yeah, we'll see. And a part of me also wants to see if I can wait for the optimization, even on my Beast machine. I was still getting like little tiny hitches and stuff here and there, and I wonder if the patch is going to smooth that out.
I could not get. I know there's third party things. I tried this EA overlay. I tried the Steam overlay, and I tried Fraps. Funny enough, I couldn't get an FPS in-game counter. Did you get anything loaded?
I didn't look.
Okay. You using? Did you get a code for Steam, or did they give you one for EA?
Steam, I believe.
And in the Steam overlay,
this is the first game. No, I didn't turn it. I think I have it turned off by default.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. But this is the first game that made me actually uninstall Origin for the EA client. So
yeah,
I had to
it made me do that
right before it was a total mess. Yeah. So
yeah,
that was fun.
Yeah, I just don't know what my FPS is. I don't know how my performance actually is. It seems 60-ish.
It was okay for me. Like I didn't run into too many times when I felt like it was bad, but it definitely did not feel close to 144, which is what I had set on.
Okay.
And here's the thing, to put it bluntly, and like I said during the sponsor stream, I mean the game looks fine, but it doesn't look like It's not fine enough to where we
It's
should be
not
having these performance issues. It's
Yes.
not graphically intensive. It's not like we have RTX on and turned up, and it looks okay. It looks okay. So it's a little strange to have it be chugging things as hard as it is.
Yeah. So I
heard
do
a
hope
few
that
people
patch
in
fixes.
chat suggesting MSI Afterburner. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, I'm fully.
Yeah, if you have a board,
A lot of it comes down to.
NVIDIA works too, apparently.
I feel like, am I off base saying that the NVIDIA? I don't know why I said that so weird.
NVIDIA.
The NVIDIA thing is like I never install the NVIDIA experience when I install drivers. Do you guys install the experience?
Fuck no.
I do.
GeForce Experience. It's bloatware for me.
That's how I look at it. Code, do you use it for anything, or just cuz?
Yeah, I use it because I can hit 2 buttons and it does it finds a driver and installs it and does all that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that makes
And
sense.
I install my
just
drivers
open that up to know
manually.
if there's a new one.
Yeah.
I used to do that back when I cared.
Yeah, I think that maybe I should just install. It would solve issues.
Yeah.
Anyways, Zeke,
It's bloatware though. For the record, it's 100% bloatware.
that's
totally unneeded.
okay. Good. I feel better about that.
Totally
I
unneeded.
thought I was just being like an elitist jerk
No.
on installing, but it seems that way.
Problem is,
No,
the
it's just
bloat-
it wasn't like super bad. It was just
doesn't it require
It
you to
was
log
like-
in?
if it's a minor annoyance, it was a
The thing
minor
is,
annoyance.
like,
so it went.
when
bye-bye.
we
like I never
when we
used
were
it.
when we were growing up, bloatware like NVIDIA and Corsair and stuff like that would have a palpable impact on your games. Like you would lose frame rate. But I mean, now, even bloatware, like it's got to be super bad to even influence that these days.
That's
so
true.
it's just not nearly as big of a deal.
Yeah.
It's a much smaller drop in the bucket these days.
Yeah,
So you can be more
maybe
lazy.
next
Is
time.
what I'm trying to say. It increases your threshold for laziness.
I mean, it would increase. Look, I'd be lazier, and it would also be solving an issue I'm having right at this point, which I can't get an FPS counter to work in that fucking game. So
There you go.
if it works, maybe I'll do it. Zeke, I want to talk Breakout 13, but before that, I
Okay.
watched a trailer, and
Okay.
apparently you played the first game, and this is the second game. But
Okay.
I want you to know about it in case you didn't. There's a game called 10 Dates coming out.
Yep.
Apparently
Oh,
you
God.
played 5
It's on
dates.
my list.
Okay, good. Yeah. I watched the
Yep.
trailer for
It's
that
on my list.
during trailer time, and I was
Uh,
like, this is the most Zeke game I've ever seen.
I played 5 days. Yeah. So 10 dates was definitely on my radar. It was going to be played on Friday if I felt like it or if I had time, and I didn't end up feeling like it because I didn't want to go from FMV to FMV like directly.
Yeah.
So it'll be, since next week I already have plans, so it'll be like I will play it. Don't worry, it'll be
Okay.
played at some point. But yes, I will. Yeah, 5 dates was a lot of fun. That team that does that. There we go. It is Whales Interactive. Yeah. I've played most of their games.
Oh,
they're
okay.
always fun for at least one day, if not a couple.
It looked like a fairly competent FMV. Let's talk Breakout 13. Is this a new FM? What is Breakout 13? What is this, Zeke?
Yeah, Breakout 13. It came out January.
Okay.
It does have a lot of reviews, but I'm guessing because it was released without English localization first, and then it got English localization, so that's why on Steam it says January 9th, 2023. But it has 6,000 reviews.
Jeez, okay.
So I'm guessing that's the reason why. But Breakout 13 is, I'll just read it. It's a narrative adventure game with interactive cinematic experience. It is about a group of misguided youths who are sent to a correctional center and try to escape. The whole premise of the game is the main character that you play he suffers from video game addiction or internet addiction.
Oh,
And,
shit.
Yeah. Not really spoiling anything, but you eventually in the game you find a brochure about the place you're in, and it lists off things that you can send your kids to this center for: video game addiction, internet addiction. It says like some of the translations don't come across real well. So one of the lines says hate study. Hate studying is what it means.
Oh,
They do not like to study, so send them here. But it just says hate study.
I thought he was.
Oh, I thought it was talking about Twitter for a second.
That's a better joke than I was going to make. Let's go with that one.
But yeah, so you can send them there, and one of the lines was puppy love. You can send them to this center if they're if they're too infatuated with somebody else, I guess.
Weird.
So yeah, there's this center, this correctional center. It's called I don't know the exact words, but it used the word gratitude. So it's like the something gratitude center. So you're teaching your children to be grateful to you as parents. As parents send your kids there. And oddly enough, come to find out that this place is just full of abuse. Corporal abuse. They hit you with sticks and stuff. They are really, really big on electroshock treatment. So yeah, there's some heavy subject matter in it. But the premise of the game starts out with you talking to your mom and your mom going, we're going to send you this place. And it's basically like this. You get your own choices.
Yeah.
You get choices of responses and stuff like that. Now, the way that this game kind of shines more than other games of its ilk is that your choices really matter. Like they lock out like shit that you can't finish the game or get to the chapters, the later chapters, if you don't do certain things, or if you piss off like friends in the school. You have to like build up your friendships with them to get items, like to like have an interaction with them. You'll see it like you'll see one of the responses and you'll see a response right by it with a lock symbol on it. And sometimes if you don't get that lock symbol, that means you can't get to the end of the game, the proper end of the game. There are many different endings to the game. I found like my first like hour of playing it, I got to the ending in the first chapter of 10. You can go that fast if you just are a sniveling, apologetic, like spineless person. If you just go along with everything they say, like, yes, mom, I'm sorry. Yes, director, please, I need more correction. And if you do like take that route, you can get an ending within the first hour. And it's wow. The like, yeah, it's the like, you were rehabilitated and you get none of the story. Like you get one of the endings. So good thing about this game is you can stop the game at any time or pause it and hit timeline. You can go to timeline and it shows your like the chapter you're on, and you can select a chapter, which I had to do because I got to a certain part that I could not get past. Like up to this point, I think it was like chapter 6 or 5 or 6 or whatever. So like halfway through the game, I got to like a bottleneck thing where I have to like up my relationships or lower my suspicion with the guards or up my approval with the principal, that so on and so forth. I had already gotten to that point. I already gotten like 3 or 4 different endings. So like there's different endings in like the first few chapters. Like every chapter I think has at least 1 or 2 different endings that you can end early. But so I had to go back. And the thing with this is if you go back, you can always go back to an earlier point that you have already done. And you can see they have little icons on your menu to show this scene, relationship change. So you can go, okay, if I want a better, like if I need to have a better relationship with a big, strong bully kid, I'll go back and look at all the scenes with him in it and see where like the scenes that relationship changed. So I can go back, make a different choice, and could use a little bit better fast forwarding system, but you can fast forward to like through the next scenes. Like any scene you've seen before, you can fast forward through it. But I had to do that like for an hour or two, go back and see like, okay, what relationship did I fuck up? Did I raise too much suspicion here and stuff like that? But once I got past it, I was like, okay, now I know that if I raise suspicion, I'm going to pause it, go back to that choice, and make the right, quote unquote, right choice so I don't raise any suspicion. So once we got past that part and realized that, like, okay, that's what you want to do because they'll dead end you if you have, you know, one of the other things like suspicion, friendship, blah, blah, blah. But it's really well done, really well acted. It's a lot of fun. It is fun if you're a native English speaker. Like the translations can be really funny. at times. This is a great scene to come back to, because the guard is like asked you to strip so she could look for any contraband. So it's run like a prison. There's even solitary confinement in this gratitude camp or whatever. So it's pretty harsh. But without spoiling anything, because this is kind of like one of the main like through lines, is your main character is trying to gain the trust of the principal so that you can do other stuff, I'll just say. And you have to like kiss his ass in order to be like, doing other stuff on the slide.
Sure. Okay.
Oh yeah. It's a really fun game. And it's well acted, well done. Like there's not a ton of actiony like fighting scenes, but the ones that they do have are pretty fun, pretty entertaining to watch. It does deal with abuse of minors. They're not children; they're high school age, so like they're minors, but not children. So it deals with that abuse of that. It deals with suicide issues. Not very light, not real heavy focus on that, but it is in there. But it never felt like heavy-handed. It's more of a mystery, more of a choose your own adventure, figure out shit, and try to get to the end of the game without dead ending. And it was a blast. I think it's a great FMV game.
Awesome. FMV games continue on.
Yeah, man.
On they go.
On they go, yeah. We didn't talk anything.
Breakout 13.
Yeah, Breakout 13 title. Yeah. $10 on Steam, I think. That's what it is.
That's the one thing I would like to mention. It is $10 for the first 5 chapters. And then it's $10
for the other?
For the last 5 chapters, which is like, yeah, it was.
That's a weird way to break it up.
I mean, I can see how they would justify it. Like they split up the releases of those, apparently. So the first 5 chapters came out like before the last 5, because I looked up a walkthrough because I was like, how the fuck do I get past this part? And the walkthrough only went up to chapter 5. So that gave me the indication like, they released 5 chapters and then added the DLC afterwards. But even for $20, it's still, I had a blast. It was still worth it for me. But they also can justify it by saying, how many endings did you get if you played the first 5 chapters? Like, well, I got like 5 endings, like 5 different endings. Like,
yeah.
So I suppose like I could say I got to some endings. You didn't get the true ending, but yeah, it was a little devious or a little kinky. I was just like, really? An entire half of the game. Like I bought Breakout 13 and the DLC is the last half of the game. Come on.
That's how they're gonna do it, I guess.
Oh, and if I get to, like, gotta mention this. Thank you, Spectre, for fucking mentioning this. There is you have to go into the extras to find this, but there are microtransactions in the game, sort of.
What?
Where you can pay real money to buy either flowers or eggs. You can award characters from the game flowers, or you can throw eggs at them. It's so fucking weird.
Wait, does it pay?
Like I was like, tell me this is.
Does it show the live actors like throwing eggs at people, or like?
I didn't buy any.
How are you not going to buy that?
What the fuck are you doing? We got to talk about this shit on Drop Fucking Frames Go and buy the fucking egg, Zeke. We gotta know.
Okay, I'll full report next week.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking tell you about it next week. Okay, fine. Good Lord.
God. Hey,
I was already tired of
gaming journalism is dead.
It really is.
Buy the fucking eggs.
I'm gonna expense it to you. I'm gonna expense it to Drop Frames then.
I'll allow it.
You will be receiving my receipts for 199 yen.
Maybe so.
A lot of yen.
That's a lot.
Or not yen. It's probably
isn't that like 30 cents? Like what?
no, it's well, yuan. Yes.
Oh,
you'll be receiving a bill for 199 yuan.
Okay.
What's that in freedom dollars?
30 cents. That's why I'm not pressed. Yeah,
Like $2.
I don't think it's much. Oh, I woke the dog up from screaming. Way to go, Zeke. Way to go. Cole, you want to talk dark and darker anymore? The same thing? The test was fine?
Dark and Darker still awesome. Had a good test. Interesting thing. Somebody, as the show was starting today, linked me an article. You guys know the company Nexon?
Yeah.
So
Korean company?
I believe so. They're kind of an umbrella company. They own lots of different stuff.
Yeah.
Apparently, a worker that is now on Dark and Darker was working on a project on Nexon called P3, and they are claiming that he basically took a lot of that IP to the D&D dev team, and there's some issues about this.
Yeah.
Now it's funny enough, it's only the worker that's being targeted. They're not going after the company. So it's not like they're trying to sue them to take down the company. And even the Iron Mace guys were like, this is, not on us. We're going to focus on our game. We think this is a vindictive thing at that member kind of thing. But the part that's kind of hilarious here is that like I like Dark and Darker. I like Iron Mace. But it's about as basic and straightforward fantasy as you can get. Like it's like fighter,
there's
cleric,
not very much
ranger,
IP. Yeah.
health potion, mana potion. Like it's like I'm kind of and in Tarkov. That's basically it. So in dungeon. So I mean it's a little I would love to see exactly like how far it goes. Like of course it'd be one thing if, for instance, that dude was working on a Dark and Darker style game and then just left Nexon, came over to these guys and developed it on his own. That would obviously be a big deal. It matters like how much he was involved in the project and all sorts of questions we just don't know. But again, the important part is that apparently whatever this is, they didn't feel it enough to go after the actual company making the game. And Nexon, Iron Mace has put out a statement basically saying like, this doesn't really have any validity. We're using mostly assets. We made all the code ourselves. So yeah, it doesn't seem to be a big deal, but it's definitely worth something mentioning for fans of the game to, kind of follow along loosely and see what develops. Yeah. But yeah, the game itself is awesome. I switched my main from a rogue or from a barbarian to a rogue this playtest.
Oh.
And I've been loving it. Rogue is pretty incredible. They added VoIP. And I have been continually
proximity
casting diplomacy.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. And I cast diplomacy at players and see if it beats their check, and then we go from there. We've had some very merry bands. At one point, basically the whole level decided to cast diplomacy on each other, and that was an interesting round. Where literally it was just like 12 people just running around killing NPCs. Nobody was killing each other. They added a solo dungeon, which started way too hard, but they made it a little bit easier. It's a cool concept for a dungeon, but I actually don't like it very much. I much prefer the kind of default dungeon.
What is like why? Because I played this and everyone was like, you should do the solo dungeon. And then everyone was like, it's way too hard, don't do it. And then I didn't play the game anymore after that, so I never went back.
The solo dungeon started way too difficult. The NPCs would poison. The poison would do like half a fighter's damage just in tick stuff, chip damage. And the dungeon itself is very vertical, but the map system for it is terrible. So you can't really figure out how to get to where. And then the part that made it very frustrating for me is the very first time I played the solo thing, I basically died because I could not find a portal. Like there was no portal anymore. So I did do the solo stuff every so often. And I later found out it's because the portal, the level's so vertical, it probably just spawned somewhere I couldn't get to it. Because you'd have to go out of the ring to go up and around. So
right.
It was it was okay. It was okay. But I did definitely prefer the normal dungeon, which was was always great and always a lot of fun. So
yeah.
I had a quick question. You were talking about people casting diplomacy on each other. Was that like sarcastic or was that
total sarcastic? Total sarcastic.
Chat.
So, yeah, a lot of people started using VoIP this patch. So you would come up to somebody, hey, are you friendly? And that's casting diplomacy. And then I think only in the probably 50 times I used VoIP, there was only I think like 1 or 2 times where the person like feigned being friendly and then killed me, which was really surprising, to be honest.
Sure.
Like 90+% of the time, if someone was like, I'm friendly, like they were friendly.
I
was
tried
pretty
to
much the whole
create new
time I
accounts
played
as
and-
fast as I could, man. I really.
But yeah, I mean, it worked out really well, and we had some great experiences with like new players, and helping people out, and people helping me out, and it was there were some very, very cool, unique situations that came from VoIP.
Yeah.
But
No,
yeah,
I honestly thought like that might be a good idea in the game. Is if like
you roll
both
for
of you
diplomacy
agree,
check.
you cast like diplomacy on each other, and then
Well.
like, okay, no more friendly fire or whatever.
Well, friendly
that
fire
would be kind of fun. But
friendly fire persists even when you're grouped, right?
yeah, even if
Yeah.
you're grouped, there's friendly fire.
Oh,
So
okay.
it is.
Yeah,
it is,
it's that style of game, Zeke.
Okay.
It's a big thing.
I played this December, I think is when they had their first test. Maybe it was or November or something like that. And I ended up very not into the game. I think even on a Game of the Year show, and then I watched like 20 hours, right? And so on our Game of the Year show, this was the game that I wish I'd played more. So when they announced this, I was like, great, I'm going to go back, which is a very rare thing for me to do. I spent about like an hour or 90 minutes with it. And I ultimately just surmised, one, I'm bad at the game. I didn't want to take the time to learn the game. And I enjoy watching this game more than I enjoy playing it. And that was like, great. I answered that for myself. I'm going to go watch more Dark and Darker now. I lurked in co-stream. I watched a lot of Sequisha. I watched a lot of Soda Poppin'. He was big on the game. He was fucking streaming like 10 plus hours a day for the entire week. The VoIP for the game is really awesome for streamers in particular. They were playing, Soda's playing with Will Neff and Vebe, and they would both play rogues. And then Vebe was playing like a healer or ranger or something. And she would go and VoIP and be like, "Hey guys, do you want to like team up? I don't know what I'm so lost. I don't know what's happening, blah, 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 blah." And then would lead them to like a dark corner of the map. And then Will and Soda would pop out of stealth and just start fucking shanking the people.
That sounds exactly like something.
And it was
they would
great.
do.
It was so fun to watch. It was super awesome. And like that type of stuff is cool when a game allows that. Yeah, the honey pot.
Trap.
It was great. I enjoyed that. There were so many clips come out of co-stream where he's walking around with a barbarian, and I think the big one was like, "Oh yeah, you see some wizards, they're pretty strong," and then he just opened a door and one shot him or some shit.
Not that particular wizard, but yeah.
It was fun.
It definitely
generated great
had
content.
Some great moments. Had some great moments.
Yeah.
It still does have. That's one of the things that's beautiful about the game. I mean, I played this game like probably 80 hours now, and I still have fun playing it. I love that they take the servers down between rounds. I know that's not a popular opinion, but I love the fact that they take it down.
Yeah.
Because it makes it so like whenever it comes up, it's like a little party. Like it's like an MMO release almost, where like everyone's clamoring to get on the servers and excited, and that's really cool. It's really cool. So I really have been digging it. And rogue gameplay is just so much fun.
You do a lot of this, rat shit.
A lot of this rat shit. I literally like will sit here and wait for groups to come through. I think I'm trying to remember this particular one. I think here come his friends. So then you kind of sneak in, and I'm pretty sure it's 3 rogues. So, we get that guy down, and then we get that guy down, and then we kill the 3rd guy. But unfortunately, both of his friends have poisoned me at this point. So then they're all dead, but then I die. So unfortunately.
So are you actually invisible when you go stealth? Like
completely.
Or are you just camouflage?
You leave, whenever you go invis, there's no sound effect, but you leave an after image for 2 seconds. So you have to invis early. You can't like just disappear in front of people.
Okay.
And then after that, you're pretty much good to go for a bit. So, but we had some crazy runs with the rogue. Like, I think at one point we had a 9-kill lobby.
Wow.
Which was pretty crazy. And like, it was the rogues can be incredibly strong with the right gear and in the right circumstances. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's super fun to
I
watch.
mean, it seems
and what's
like
even cooler is, go ahead.
No, it seems like it might be fun, but like it's in the name. It's too dark for me. Like I don't
It's
like
very
that.
dark.
It's too fucking dark.
Yeah.
People always tell me I don't turn out torches, and people always tell me like, you turn out the torches. It won't turn out the torches. I'm like, yeah, but if I can't see them, they can't see me, and then we're just stabbing in the dark at each other. Like I like to kill. Like I can't turn out the torches because then I can't see who I'm stabbing. That's a problem, especially if you're like fighting a barbarian or something, because a barbarian will always one-shot me. They get one lucky hit in and I'm dead. Where I have to get like 7 lucky hits in on them. You know, it just doesn't add up.
Yeah. It's a fun game though.
Legendary weapons, someone said.
Yes, they added in these crazy
Did you
unique
get one?
weapons. So I did not. No,
I
I
saw
didn't even know
Soda
they
get one.
existed until the last day. But they are like crazy, crazy things. Like a bow that like knocks people back, a sword that hits people with lightning bolts, just dot weapons, extra damage weapons, crazy unique effects. Like they what I'm really hoping they're gonna do, and what I think would be fantastic, is if they made a whole slew of unique weapons at each tier. So there was like a set of green unique weapons and blue unique weapons and purple unique weapons. So like just flood the game with interesting unique weapons. And then it would have like an almost EverQuest style feel where it's like you can, get a weapon and then build stuff around it, and or get a few weapons that synergize super well. And of course it's going to be a balancing nightmare, but
Yeah.
I think that if as long as you make it so, like, if the legendary unique does 15 extra damage, we'll make the purple do 9, and then the blue do 6, and the green do 3. And just kind of step down some of the more strong stuff. I think it could be a really cool situation.
Yeah. Well, I think death is such a common thing to come by in that game that even if they are kind of broken, like maybe you take the Valve approach, like someone in my chat said, where if everything's broken, nothing is. Right.
I mean, there's an argument in that, and the thing is this game makes it so painless to get back into new games. It makes it so even in situations where you just get wrecked, and it happens, man. It happens. I'll spend 15 minutes in 3 different trade rooms and spend all my gold on a build, and then I'll go in, and the first group I'll kill the cleric, and the barbarian one shots me, and it's like, well, that sucks. All right. Let's go back in.
Jump back
Let's
in.
do it, and just jump right back in, and you're back in the saddle. So
yeah, I can attest that too. Like in learning, I was rage queuing. I'd be like, God, what the fuck, man? Queue. I hate this game.
Yeah,
I'm gonna queue again.
I'm currently undergoing that with Hitman actually in the evenings. Yeah.
Oh,
this game is terrible. Why didn't that work? New game.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right. Have they said at all what the next thing is they're doing, or when they're doing another test?
They are notoriously tight-lipped about this stuff, which I think is also to their credit. I don't think they've announced the time for the next test, and I don't think we know what's coming in the next test. So this test was relatively light.
Are they close
in the
to launch,
scheme,
you think, or no?
They claimed end of last year that they want to get it out this year. But in terms of like what I think a lot of people are hoping for from the game, it would be pretty crazy to get it out in that amount of time, like even if it was in December. They are developing very fast. Like they did multiple hot fixes throughout the time, and some of them were like sizable and good fixes, and things that were a lot of feedback from the community had instigated, and they're clearly working very hard on this. So we'll have to kind of see where it goes.
Got it. Yeah,
they're still talking about an EA, but again, and I can't stress this enough. I really hope they don't turn on the servers like months and months and months before it's released.
And then just let them run.
Just let them run. I feel like that's what's going to
be kind of
kill. It's what's going to kill the player base. Is what it's going to do. So I mean, one of the reasons I think it's so easy in this game is you can just queue so quick. There's so many people playing it all the time. But when they just leave the servers up, like, don't get me wrong, it'll still probably go fast because the tech is there. But I mean, it's going to have a completely different vibe if the game comes out and it doesn't have a huge amount of maps and all the classes and all that kind of stuff, and they just like leave the servers on. So we'll see.
A lot of times I think Twitch success relates for people to be success in general. Is this game successful on Twitch and also successful outside of Twitch?
Or it's been getting hundreds of thousands of players.
Okay,
absolutely.
I wasn't sure if it was like a Twitch thing.
Most of the people I VOIP'd with had no clue I was streaming. Like it was not like it's just a group of streaming people that are playing it. Like it is.
That's cool.
Huge amount of people that are playing the game.
That's good to hear.
Wait. What? There's It got 2 million people in the playtest.
Across the week,
2 million.
Holy
I think
shit!
the 100K number I was talking about was concurrent players on Steam. So
200 or 2 million unique that's pretty fucking.
It's still big.
Free to play.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is free, of course, but
yeah,
it did have over 100K players active.
Wow,
I think numerous times.
That's
well,
crazy.
when
so
you, I had a quick
question
for a layperson. Two questions. I'm gonna get them both out so I don't forget. First question is, don't interrupt me, goddamn you. First question is there like, okay, I've heard people in Tarkov talk about a Kappa case or something like that. Is there something like that in this game? Hold on. And my second question is, what do you mean by turn off the servers? Okay, I got both my questions out. Answer them.
Boom.
Okay, no, there's no type of Kappa case. There's no guaranteed extraction item of any kind. And sorry, I was interrupting you because in the clip I cast diplomacy on this guy and it worked. He was just about to kill me and I was like, don't kill me, I'm friendly. And he was just like, oh. And then just stopped attacking. That was amazing.
That was an incredible VOD.
So, but okay, no, there's no type of guaranteed item extraction, which is what the case system is in Tarkov. You can basically go into Tarkov. You have a guaranteed set of inventory space that even if you die, you leave with those items. There's nothing like that in this game. If you die, everything's gone every single time. And the thing I talk about turning the servers on and off is this game is not in early access yet. It is in like, I guess, alpha or whatever they're calling it. It's not in early access. You can't even, I don't even think you can buy it yet. And what they do
is a closed beta, right?
Yes, there you go. Let's call it that, closed beta. So what they do, although anyone can join, so it's not really closed. Anyway, so they put a certain amount of time up. They usually give us a few weeks or months in advance, and they're like, the game will be up between February 7th and February 13th. And then on February 7th, everyone can go and download the game. The servers are on for that time. Everyone plays it for a week. And then at the end of the week, they're like, okay, cool, thanks. And they turn the servers off. So at that point, if you try to join a game, you just get errors saying no servers exist. That's what I mean by turning the servers on and off.
You're not talking about when it releases then. It's not like something you want when the game is actually
when it releases, everything, the master switch will be thrown and then hopefully the servers will be up forever.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I thought you meant like it's like akin to like a reset. Like I hope they reset everything, blah blah blah.
So
I kind of hope
that's
how
like lay knowledge I have.
Yeah.
Like I am
now here's the interesting thing, because there's like in a living game like this, there's all sorts of different ways to do it. PoE has leagues.
Yeah.
Escape from Tarkov has reset patches. And these games kind of need to figure out, how are you going to keep the hype up for your games long term? Because the issue is that when you start an extraction shooter, eventually you will either have so much loot that you have no reason to really do anything anymore, or you will get players that are so ridiculously overpowered all the time that no new player can do anything against them. So they have to figure out what they're going to do once the servers are turned on. The point that I was making is right now there's no system like that. They've not announced any type of reset. They've not announced any type of balancing. There's no seasons system, nothing like that. So if they were to have an early access in like April and they were to just turn the servers on, it would relatively quickly become a mess, because there's nothing in place to manage with these problems that these types of games have.
Yeah.
So that's the point I was talking about with not leaving the servers on. Yeah.
So when they do that, you have to start over again.
Every time they do a week server, yes. Every time they wipe at the end of every single closed beta playtest system. Playtest. There you go. Playtest. That's I think that's what they call it, as a playtest.
That's the word I was looking for. Was beta playtest or alpha playtest.
I think this is it. Okay. So at this point, I think there's 5 people following me, and then we just came up on this group, and now we're yelling at them. So then we all come up here. And I think somebody at some point is like, "Does anyone have a campfire?" It's like, we need to yeah. So we're all friends at this point. So I think somebody puts down a campfire, and then we all just sit around the campfire and hang out. And it's this is VoIP in dark. This is what VoIP can lead to in Dark and Darker.
It's a really cool thing, or it's a really terrifying
doing this
thing
and not killing them.
Talk.
Like
now the problem here's the issue.
NPCs.
The issue with this is that there's not going to be enough portals for every person to leave. That's how this game makes it so you can't just go in with people and get out with people. There's not going to be enough portals to leave. So what this group ends up doing is we all just kind of go off our separate ways and get our portals and leave. I think I had to end up going into red portal or something in this, if I don't remember, because all the blue portals were taken, or that may have happened at another time. But the way the game deals with it is they limit the amount of people that can actually leave. So you have to eventually fight or voluntarily let other people leave. And remember, if you stay behind, you lose
Sacrifice
all your loot.
yourself. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And if it's
So
your first time in Dark and Darker, you have to fight.
Pretty much. But that's how the situation works. So yeah.
It's a fascinating
This was an
game.
anomaly. It's not often that everyone is just chill with each other. That generally does not happen. Yeah.
Very curious
Oh,
where
that's
this
right.
game goes.
I actually took a red portal, I think, from here, and I actually survived the red portal as a solo rogue.
Nice.
It
That's
was
rare.
a very dangerous run. I didn't get a single kill or loot a single item. I just got out. But
That's pretty rare
actually
from what
worked.
I
I think it's the
watched.
only time I've ever escaped a red portal was from that. So
I was watching, I'm sure you know all the bosses and stuff that exist in the red area, right? They have like full like raid mechanics ultimately. That stuff was really interesting to watch because you wouldn't expect it from seeing this 99% of the time for them to like drop a lich or something into the fight where a lot of teams I watched very geared players die over and over and over while they learn the strategies. And that's cool to see.
It's very weird because this game looks too messy to have like a raid style boss. It looks so jumpy and stabby and like not like precise, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I guess to give an explanation as to what the actual mechanics were. The boss would like rotate to the center of the room and then fly up into the sky. And as he smashes down onto the ground, you have to jump or something like that.
Okay.
Or the boss will like start to like vacuum in a certain player, and the healer, if you have one, has to like cast heal on them so they don't die in the process, or stuff like that. Simple things. It's not like crazy MMO mechanics, but stuff that I think works for this style of combat and style of gameplay. I just wonder how far they take it, right? Like, are they going to make it complex? Or are they going to try to keep it simple? I think there's some beauty and success because of the simplicity of the game. Anyone can you can pick a fighter and swing a weapon and probably kill something, maybe, in your first game. Or you can play like a wizard, which, Co, you correct me if I'm wrong, it felt like it was the hardest class to play well, but when you do, you're a fucking god.
it is one of, if not the strongest class when played by somebody that knows what they're doing.
Yeah. Casting haste on yourself and then like invising and then casting fireballs and
Constantly
just, like,
staying out
people.
of range,
Yeah.
keeping total battlefield awareness of where everyone is, yeah, absolutely.
It's cool.
It's a wizard that is very good is probably the strongest thing in this game.
Yeah, from the footage I saw, it looked that way as well. So,
So it seems just one other thing. It seems like the way the circle works is it doesn't hurt you, or does it?
Oh, it does. You can see my health ticking.
Okay, no, I'm
bottom
just wondering
left,
if it just closes the darkness around you.
It
okay.
closes in, and then in the very final ring, the circle disappears, and at that point you have a time limit. And if you even if you're in front of a blue portal, it will eventually even if you have life left, once the time limit's up, everyone just dies. It says the darkness has consumed you, and then everyone's just dead.
So, that you die, meaning you lose. If you get out, you win. Okay, so if you have to get out to win. Okay.
Yes, you have to get out to win. The only way to get out with your loot is a blue portal, be it in a red portal area or a normal area. The only way to get out with your loot is a blue portal. That's it.
Cool.
I still don't know if I'm going to give this another shot, but the fact that you said like the class that I picked was the hardest to learn, and I like.
Oh, did you pick wizard?
I got dropped.
You picked a wizard?
Down. Yeah, well, of course I do. I always pick magic users.
Oh man.
And I got dropped into this place like that. I was in like this dark corner of the room, and I could just hear it. I just heard like, and I died, and I was like, okay, I'm just start respawn. And you're in the dark corner, just again in a dark corner, just. And I was like, man, this fucking sucks. I hate this. I can't see anything, and I keep getting killed.
Sounds all right.
Okay. All right.
Actually,
you know what? I like punishment in video games. In fact, my off-stream game that I'm playing right now is one of those goddamn stupid fan games. I want to be the blah game.
Well,
that's the kind of punishment I like. But I can see what's killing me in that.
You got to turn your gamma up, man. Just crank the gamma up to like 7,000%.
Apparently, I was talking to someone, Aerodos, I think, was talking about like there's people cheating and using like gamma raising programs, like third-party programs.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah, why not? Cody, you were gonna say something?
Oh yeah, in the new zone in particular, there are now some
Goblin
exits
zone?
that open up. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
there is an exit. I think it's a single exit that opens up that you can run into. That's not a portal. And
Oh,
then if you go up it, then rocks fall behind you, so no one else can take it. I was able to successfully use it one time, but it's that's not the norm by
Yeah.
any degree.
Yeah. Cool.
I think how somebody just said in chat, the game's not bright and brighter, Zeke.
I said that.
Yeah.
I when I said it was too dark, I prefaced it by saying I know the game's name is Dark and Darker.
It's also
it's too
not D&D.
It is though. That's the
It's
word.
not.
It absolutely is.
It's Dad.
D&D.
It's Dad.
No, it's Da and Da.
D&D.
I'm fine with Da.
Da and Da.
The amount of streams that I was like, oh, they're playing. Let's check out. I wonder if they're playing fifth. Oh, it's fucking Dark and Darker. God damn it. It's not D&D. It's Dark and Darker. I think I'm just gonna have to lose that battle. It's just there's no chance.
Or how about Daradar?
Sure, yeah. Anything that's not
Daradar. I'm gonna play Daradar.
It's just D&D.
anything that's not
Because
D&D.
that drives people crazy, and I'm so here for it. You're not there's some people in my community that it destroys them.
Yeah.
It destroys them that it's called that.
Oh, I'm right there with them. Yeah. I'm gonna email Watsy. We're gonna put out a new OGL where we're gonna sue the creators of Dark and Dungeons. It's not gonna be that successful, but we're gonna do it. We'll go after them.
Is there a bard class? Someone was saying, is there a bard class?
No,
It's one of the new
but I
announcements.
think they said they're going to put one in. Yeah, I think Bard
I
is on their
might
list.
have to do a stream of a bard class with VoIP or with proximity chat and just walk around singing tunes.
That'd be great.
And I was in the dungeon with the dragon.
be great.
Would actually be incredible.
I think that's a workable bit. It would attract the viewers for sure.
If I could live long enough.
Yeah, someone's just going to be like, shut that bard the fuck up.
Someone will actually kill you to quiet you. They will silence you with a weapon.
Yeah,
that would work.
That'll be good. Anything else that we've played the past week? I think that's kind of it. I don't think we talked that. I did that. Well, I think it's pretty much it.
Let's see.
Cat, did we miss anything?
Deliver Us Mars, Breakout 13.
There was one, like I did Indie Saturday, and there was one real standout that I wouldn't mind talking about for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, let's do it.
It was the last game of the day. It's called the Multimedium.
Let me find it.
If I have the VODs up, I'm not sure if the VODs up, but
I'll look.
Okay. The game is called the Multimedium. And the reason why it's called Multimedium is because it is a visually unique 2D puzzle platform adventure in which you play as an interdimensional explorer lost in the multiverse. Travel to diverse worlds, each drawn, now this is the important part, each drawn or painted by hand in a different medium and style in search of your place in the cosmos. This is it. The really cool part about this game is that it actually, like, every level changes medium. So you start, and it tells you like the medium when you start the world that you're in. So you're dimension hopping, but the first dimension it drops down and says graphite, so basically like a pencil. And then the next dimension is charcoal, and the next dimension is colored pencils. So I'm in this is the colored.
Okay.
Yep, this is the colored pencil dimension. And I love that. It really makes for enjoyable, and you're eager to see what the next medium is. I think I got to the one I quit on was watercolors. No, acrylic. I got through watercolors and got to acrylic, which is what Bob Ross uses, right? He uses acrylic paints, I think, or water based, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, all the levels have like different color schemes, different like styles and stuff like that. It's there's a few things that this game really does right. It changes up the style, so it's always enjoyable to look at. The movement in the game, fast. That's like a lot of games don't like semi-puzzly platformer games don't do well. But this, you move real fast and it's super fluid. The controls are real solid and crisp. and you move real fast. The jumping is a bit floaty, but it's not a detraction. This also, in Watercolor Land, you swim, but you swim fast. Oh my God, thank you. You actually swim super fast, like way faster than you should, but that's fine. I'm good with that. But yeah, so there's the movement is great. It's crisp. There's it doesn't take you forever because there's box moving, box, jump, move on. There's a lot of that, but it's fast. You don't push the box real slow. It's move it, jump. There's rope mechanics that are also very crisp. You jump on the rope and jump off very easily. But it's a charming game. Like the light story that it does have is very charming. It's the script is very the guy you're playing is a very friendly, amicable dude. He goes to these new worlds and he meets the first person in this, or first creature or thing in the world, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going? I'm an explorer from another world. How are you doing?" It's like very friendly. The other thing about it is that really stands out, the music and the sound design are fucking awesome. They're better than they have any right to be. Like to the point where I stopped and I was like, this fucking tune is awesome. And it's not just because it's like a really driving like EDM track, gets you pumped. It was just really emotive, immersive, like, and it fit. There was some like discordant violin music that, somehow worked on the ear really well. The sound effects also like are really like, padding through the snow or like climbing ropes or creature noises and stuff like that. It's also very well done. This is definitely one of those that I would put in the category of like Gris, however you say it, or if you want to say it, Gris or Gorogoa or those kind of games where it's art as a game. But this has, I would say, more gameplay than those other games. Like it's got like this, like puzzle, pull this, go here, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's very accessible. Nothing too like brain bustingly hard, but it's enjoyable to look at, it's enjoyable to play, and it's enjoyable to listen to. So it has all the elements going for it really good. It's developed and published. I'm guessing it's like, I'm glad I'm not shitting on it because it seems like it's one dev. Micah Boussier, Boursier. And I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but it looks like it's French pronunciation, but I'm not sure. And it is $7 on Steam.
Oh, okay. Not too
Price
bad.
is right.
Yeah, price is right.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it's not super long. I didn't finish it, but apparently it's not super long. It's 2-ish hours.
Oh, okay. Not too bad. Do you know how many like art styles? I think you mentioned 4. Is there more?
I can look at the thing and I'm seeing, or looking at the pictures, I'm seeing like 7, I want to say. 7 or 8 art styles.
Sorry. I am showing my chat says, are you sure it's not Debussy? Like that's just, sorry.
I know.
I'm being Zeke this week. I'm sorry, guys.
Once I said the name, I was like,
I'm sorry.
That's close to what
I'm not even mad. I'm just disappointed.
Someone's gonna.
Don't be disappointed in me. I didn't make the comment. I just laughed at it. And I had to express why I'm laughing. So it wasn't rude to Zeke.
I'll just say it very, very, very American then, right? The name is Micah Boursier.
Oh yeah, that's completely normal.
That's better.
Yeah,
Micah Boursier.
That's great.
There you go.
It's great. I should have brought this up when we were talking about news, by the way. But we got 9-ish minutes. We don't have to run the whole 9 minutes. But we talked about AI 2 episodes ago, I think, at the start of an episode. Did you guys see that NetEase, very big developer, they have countless online games. They have a bunch of mobile games. One of them is called Justice Online Mobile. It's an MMO. And they are starting to use Chat GPT powered NPCs. And so when you walk up to an NPC in this game, you'll have a completely unique conversation. with an NPC. And that sparked the idea of like how wild that could be if you included that in something like, I don't know, a Skyrim type game where no person has like, is that like the perfect game?
Oh, slow down.
Is that
There are
Stop right there.
Like,
One thing I wanted to say. Okay, goodbye. I'm leaving.
like the thing is like AI has a long way to go before it works exactly like we want it to.
mhm.
So the idea that you could go up to an NPC in like an MMO and start having conversations where you start like going way outside of where that AIO should be or be talking about, like maybe if there were crazy blinders and rule sets that these things had to follow,
Where it couldn't go into a
maybe.
certain thing,
Absolutely, and you couldn't get it talking about certain things and things of that nature. But the idea of like ChatGPT is not very restricted right now. So like it has lots and lots of issues, and you can get it talking about all sorts of things.
It can also
shouldn't
be wrong.
talking about, and
Yeah.
absolutely be wrong. All sorts of problems. So like it's at that point, you're not. It's interesting because at that point they're not making the content of their game.
Right.
They're outsourcing it. So at that point, the people who made the game completely lose control of what their game is. Like they're making a framework, but they're no longer in control of the content, which is an entirely different large discussion.
It's a wild thing.
It's a very wild thing. But like it's would that be like a perfect game?
Perfect is
Like
a weird phrase. Would
Yeah,
that be the
but it's just
unending
like-
game that is different for every single person?
But like, what would open-ended
And is that good?
But what would it entail? Like how could the NPC enrich the experience of being in that world?
Yeah.
Like what would be like here's something, for instance. Imagine if you could make an AI system that was like in Skyrim, but the only information that AI system had access to was like lore from inside the world.
Yeah.
It was an actual in-game NPC, and like it would never stray outside of like events that happen in the world or characters in the
That'd
world,
be cool.
locations in the world. Like that kind of thing could be cool. But even then, like that game would just be like walking up to an NPC and having an hour-long discussion about like nothing really, or like at what point do you that changes what the game is. It's no longer like a game.
Oh God, endless small talk. Oh
yeah,
oh,
I mean,
God.
sort of. If you think about like,
you could walk up and be like,
please.
I mean, you could be as a matter of fact, be like, hey, give me something to do, and then the NPC would be like, what do you want to do? I want to fight something.
What are you into?
I need 10 bear asses. You want to collect those for me? Yeah, I'll do it for 5. Okay, well then I'm going to give you half
all this
the
stuff
reward.
you're talking about is easy. All the like that's not what ChatGPT is. Like all that.
But if
stuff
that's
is,
an
like,
active
random
conversation
generations
and
of quests
but if it randomly generates the quest, the creatures, the place, the area, the whatever.
At that point, you're taking an AI and you're making it do the work of like a 50-line program. You know what I mean?
It's very basic. I mean, I'm not a game designer, so it's very basic.
That's my thing. It's like it seems like to have it fit, you would have to limit it so much that it almost invalidates the premise of the AI being there in the first place.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, no. What
it's
you
an
were
interesting
describing
discussion for sure. It's a super interesting discussion. Absolutely.
What you were describing sounds to me like those games where you have to that don't have or have a very light story, where you have to make your own adventure. You know, it's like a lot of builder games,
Skyrim,
where you set goals for yourself, and those. I mean, I'm obviously of my own opinion. Like, I'm not into that shit. I want a story. I want the writers to tell me a story.
I think that's kind of the point I was making. See, that's exactly right. Like, imagine like a game framework. You go to an NPC. He tells you what you need to know. He tells you what to do next. You then go to the next NPC or challenge. You do that challenge or talk to the NPC. He sends you the next one. You know, like putting AI into that like changes everything. Unless the AI is writing the story, which is again a completely different thing. But I feel, and I don't know what that MMO is you talked about, but I feel like the real interesting things of AI in a gaming environment would be something like chat VR. Like where the actual VR chat, yeah, where the actual content is what an AI would provide, which is like
Sure.
radiant style discussion. Like in a framework that could be interesting, but it's kind of like if you just were to drop that into like an RPG or something, it feels like it would just be so out of place, like so much more than you'd want in that situation. You don't want to talk to an NPC about its 1,000 likes and dislikes and family heritage and all that. You don't care about that shit. You're there to talk to the NPC, so it tells you what's important, so you can get onto the better part and the cool part of the game. Like it's not.
You know what I think would work, and
Yeah.
I think I would love is if it were in a story driven game, but you pick up an NPC that's like, I don't know, an android or something like that, and they're in your party, but all they say is AI generated shit like the entire way. Like you're like,
Sure,
yeah. Like you're in your D&D party or whatever, and then they're like, well, what do you think, Robo guy? Like, and the guy's like, well, I think that cherries are delicious, but maybe they aren't.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
The example that they gave says through AI tech, it would create conversations that are fully voiced, emotive, and impactful. For example, you could tell a character their house is on fire and they'd rush home, or you could cause a rift between two NPCs that are in love. Players could use text or voice inputs.
That's just a social experiment. That seems a little like I guess you could say that's sandbox gaming, but I mean at that point
it's its own new thing, wouldn't it? It would be its own new thing, I guess, ultimately.
It really is. It really is. It would very much be like the an ultimate sandbox experience kind of thing.
I'm seeing chat mention
I think it would
Sims.
work really well for a game like RimWorld.
It's kind of Sims. Yeah. It's
RimWorld, RimWorld as well. Yeah. What if all those
Dwarf
characters
Fortress.
that it created, any of those characters in those games became...
They kind of already are. Well, see, now here's the thing. They kind of are, just in very light ways.
Yeah.
If you think of like RimWorld and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I was going with earlier. Like you got to really restrict them to fit the game for it to fit the game.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't necessarily want to chat GPT in RimWorld. I mean, maybe it could be fun for a little bit, but I mean, it also kind of change what the game is in general. It would completely spin it on its head unless you restricted it so much that it became again less than an AI. At that point, it's like
an NPC. It's a glossary in NPC form, I guess, like a talkable glossary. I don't know. It sparked some weird things.
It's weird. Yeah, there's a whole lot of
very
it's
interesting
new,
though,
and there's lots of different ways to approach it. So
yeah.
The idea of an adventure RPG
glossary. I'm stuck on that right now.
Yeah.
The idea of an open world, well-made RPG where every character, like every NPC is a living character in that world. Like that could be cool. That absolutely, if done properly, that could absolutely be interesting and very cool.
I could, like, if you applied the talkable glossary thing, and then we'll wrap here. If I was playing it multiple times throughout playing Wild Hearts past week, if I could go, hey, Bob, NPC name, where do I get the wild scale to upgrade my weapon? And then it just literally tells me, oh, you want to go outside and hunt this mob in this zone. Good luck. I don't even have to go Google where the fuck that is to find a guide or to find database to find out where to go.
Super useful.
Super
Holy
cool.
Shit.
It's basic.
Super cool and that's super useful, but that's not AI. Like that's like
it is though if it's generating unique sentence structure and it's voiced in a unique way that's specific to that character in that moment, though, is it not?
If it's doing it all on the fly, then yeah, it would be.
Like if
I mean, what would stop it
from
being like, hey, that's a good question, but let me tell you about this frog I got yesterday.
Yeah, if it has the ability to refuse.
But and see if you're mandating what it would respond to and how it would respond. Do you see like it's
I see what you're saying.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
So it's like you'd have to suit and yeah, somebody just said we're arguing semantics. We kind of are. But it is, it's it's kind of the point. But
or if
like,
it could lie to you, that's like
what if it tells you the wrong information?
The wrong thing. Absolutely.
That'd be kind of cool too. And then you come back and kill the motherfucker.
What's the deal? There was a dragon over there. Like, ha ha ha, good joke.
Yeah.
Right?
And maybe he told you the wrong information because another AI NPC paid him to because that AI NPC decided he didn't like your mustache. It's like all sorts of shit like that. Like absolutely. Great. Like that kind of stuff would be a lot different and more interesting. Somebody said we're overthinking it. The point of this discussion is overthinking it. That's the whole point of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Is literally overthinking this concept. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I think the baseline of our conversation is there have to be implementations. Every implementation is different, and you'd have to talk about the specific implementation, how it's being used, what in the AI is being taken advantage of, how is it being restricted. So AI is such an open concept, you can't really have big discussions like this without paring it down to the exact usage of how it would be used. So that's my takeaway, at least. And it's interesting we had this discussion because I hadn't thought about that before now. But yeah, you can't really just drop AI in a game. There's literally hundreds of questions you'd have to ask yourself about the game, about how that works, about how you want it to work. Like it's by no means just like, oh, cool, let's just take ChatGPT and put it in our RPGs. No, you can't. Like that's not something you could do.
Someone's going to though, and I want to see that and experience that first iteration, and then I want to experience the 10th iteration of that because it's going to be fucking crazy, whatever it is. Like someone's going to start down that path. Man. It sounds like they already are, and I don't know what the end of it is. It's exciting, eventually, but also scary. It's fun.
ChatGPT or a future iteration of ChatGPT is just going to write the answer for us, and then write the game, and then put itself in the game, and then we're all just going to play it, and it's going to be game of the year.
Yeah, I mean, it's a longer. I was messing around. The reason it sparked the conversation is I was messing around with ChatGPT on stream, and I was saying like, "Hey, give me the code to write a website that has X, but also Y and Z in a blue background," and then it just spit out the HTML in real time. It's like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah,
it's fucking crazy, man. It's a wild thing. So, I wonder how it gets implemented in games. That might be a question for.
Hey, I added 25 AIs into my MMO world, small scale farm NPCs. It took them 2 weeks, and then they took over the game and became unbeatable monarchs, outlawing all other PCs game wide, and now they won't let players in.
Nice. Nice. I love people in your chat that are asking, did he really ask for HTML? Yeah. Do I look? I'm not a coder, guys. What the fuck? I'm sorry I'm so stupid, chat.
Everyone knows you use C#, JP.
I know. Jeez. God.
I bet your code wasn't even properly optimized.
I made the mistake of opening your
Did you
chat.
even comment?
I got to close your chat again. I gave it an episode.
Oh, God.
I almost got through it. Anyways, let's do some shout outs. Zeke.
It's all CS.
Speaking of coach chat, shout out to the person who said Zeke doesn't add anything to the conversation. That's true. I'm the color. That's what they call a color commentator. I'm the one who
peanut gallery.
Yeah, says the sex jokes and fart noises. That's me. Hi, that's my job. Anyway, thank you guys for watching.
Guy.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you to Co and JP for being wonderful co-hosts every week. My name is Ezekiel III. You can find me at /Ezekiel_III on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, and Ezekiel III, all spelled out, on Instagram and TikTok. If you want to know what I'm doing, well, tomorrow is 100 Club, is my TTRPG that I do on Mondays. But if you want streams from me on my channel, I am I got a packed week. Tuesday, I am doing, oh, wait, hold on. I got to make sure I got the order right.
Uh-oh.
I got 200-month sub appreciation stream. Comic Zone is starting Tuesday. That's an old Sega classic game. We're checking that out. And then on Wednesday, we're doing Jazz Jackrabbit 2, or collection, the GOG collection. We're doing those 2 games for Iglyka and AO, 2 of my 100-month sub peoples. And then Thursday, man, Thursday is going to be a fucking fun day. I'm not sure what time of day we're starting because I don't know when it releases, but Sons of the Forest co-op.
Yes! Oh, nice.
Doing a co-op stream with Classy Pax, let me get all the names right. Classy Pax, Disby, Momo, and Saffy Pie. We're all going together. Sons of the Forest co-op, light RP. So that's what's going to be happening Thursday and Friday. So fun week ahead. So thank you for watching.
Awesome stuff. Do some shout outs.
Awesome. Hi. Big thanks as always to JP and our sound guy Zeke. Always a pleasure. I am Co. Hi. I'm going to be doing this week. We've got Atomic Heart tomorrow for those who want to take a look at it. We also have Sons of the Forest. I'm going to be playing more Returnal. Probably going to be checking out more Like a Dragon Isshin when I can. We've got so many games coming out over the next couple weeks. It's going to be tough. Maybe return to Wild Hearts. I've got Stalker to finish. Just tons and tons and tons of stuff. So, as always, hope to see you by the channel. If I won't, then I will see you here next week for more Drop Frames.
Some stuff. We got a lot of games coming up this week. We'll have a lot to talk about next week. I'll probably rope in a guest. We've got so much releasing. Company Heroes 3,
Yeah.
Kerbal 2,
Throw a rock, whoever it
Atomic
hits.
Hearts, Blood Bowl 3, Sons of Forest, Octopath 2, Like a Dragon, that's already out in early access. There's a bunch of stuff. Yeah. So we'll find someone to come on and talk about the show. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you too for being here. We'll see you guys next week for more Drop Frames. We're out of here for now. Have a good one. Bye-bye.